Welcome to RNS Podcast. My name is Dylan.
And I'm Evan.
And guess what? It's another epic Halloween horror episode.
Yep.
Freaking thank you so much for viewing the other two.
Thank you.
Mouth of Madness was a huge success.
Yeah, it was.
So
we now have 500,000 million subscribers.
Yeah, and so we're going to get the quadruple bronze play button.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
And yeah, so we are now billionaires. So
we are, yeah.
And we're still here. We're still doing it for the craft.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, this week we're going to talk about Midsommar. I don't know. How do you say it?
I believe it's Midsommar. I've never heard anyone say it any other way.
Oh.
Except like that douchebag wearing the Criterion baseball hat who said Midsommar.
Oh,
yeah.
Well.
Everyone else said it Midsommar.
I guess I'll say it the normal way then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Midsommar.
A Midsommar sex comedy. That's the one we're reviewing, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So I got a big boner.
Yeah.
During this. No, but...
Can we review that one day?
Yeah.
Next summer. It'll be our summer.
We'll do a series of movies that sound like movies we've already done but aren't.
Yeah, like bad knockoffs.
Yeah.
We should do the Hunger Games, like if we did Battle Royale.
Yeah. Burn.
That'd be cool.
Burn on you guys.
That'd be cool, right?
Yeah, that would be cool.
What's a shitty Back to the Future? Review all of Rick and Morty.
What's that movie called? Well, yes. But what's that movie called? Buckaroo Banzai.
Is that shitty Back to the Future? I don't know what came out. Did that come out before or after?
I think Buckaroo Banzai came out the same year.
I'm like, I wouldn't consider Buckaroo Banzai.
It's not, but it's. I've always heard they're similar.
Maybe. I haven't seen it. I actually have the DVD, but I haven't never watched it.
I do want to watch it.
Peter Weller's in it.
I do want to watch it. Peter Weller's badass.
Yeah, he is.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But enough of that nonsense, Evan. Enough about Super Hornio Brothers and various things like that.
We should review that one day.
It's coming. We're doing Mario Month.
Yeah, when the Mario movie.
We'll do the anime Mario, the live action Mario, Super Hornio Brothers, and then the new one, the Illumination one.
That'd be awesome.
Which we haven't talked about that real quick. That looks good, in my opinion.
I was not hot on the trailer, but the trailer didn't really show us very much, so,
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
a bit early to
I just appreciate the restraint.
Well, what do you mean?
It just, there was no fart jokes, there was no Kesha, there was no...
Oh, okay. But it's coming.
I don't know if it is.
Playboy Cardi gonna have the theme song for the movie.
Maybe, I think they'll, I think the worst it's gonna get is,
he's like, oh, I'm Mario.
Ooh, I think I'm Super Mario. Yeah. I think worst it's gonna get is Playboy Cardi does the credits song.
That'd be pretty awesome though.
But that would be badass.
Awesome, yeah.
That's like a nice cherry on the sundae.
Because when Yeet did the Minion song, that was awesome. So
yeah, and Pharrell.
Yeah,
Pharrell,
of course. But
He's
Pharrell got nothing on Yeet. Yeet doing Rich Minion.
Rich Minion. Rich Minion is a classic. But Evan, do you want to mention? I do want to talk about something before we get into Midsommar. I want to talk about the strange thing about the Johnsons very briefly, if you don't mind. Mm-hmm. But is there anything else you want to mention?
No. Actually, yeah, I do. Today, the day we're recording, of course, the episode won't be out this day, but the day we're recording, October 23rd, it's Sam Raimi's birthday. So happy birthday, Goat.
Of course, happy birthday, Goat.
You've given us so far 5 episodes of content, so
and I'm sure many more to come.
Yeah, more to come.
And many more hours of simple enjoyment.
Of course.
And intellectual stimulation.
Yeah, of course. So. Especially when we do Oz, the Great and Powerful.
Well, Oz, that's probably going to change some hearts, change some minds.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get through Raimi filmography. But yeah, happy birthday to him. Happy birthday to Goat.
Happy birthday, Goat.
And Black Adam is still epic, by the way. I saw it again with my good friend Brandon.
Yeah.
And it was epic the second time as well. So, yeah. Thank you to the director of that.
Who is it?
I'm sure he's just as prolific as Sam Raimi.
No.
Yeah.
Take that back. Don't ever say something like
I do take it back on the day of the man's birth. I can't do him like that. But the strange thing with the Johnsons is a short film by Ari Aster.
It is.
The director of Midsommar and also Hereditary.
Of course.
Good director.
He is. I really like him a lot.
And I have to say, if you did enjoy Hereditary and Midsommar, you'll definitely like We Are the Johnsons. I mean, it's
I think you've given it 3 different titles already.
Wait, The Strange... I always want to call it We Are the Johnsons, but it's called The Strange Thing About the Johnsons.
And you also said The Strange Thing with the Johnsons.
Whatever.
3 different titles.
We'll call it The Johnsons.
In the span of a minute.
We'll call it The Johnsons. It, if you do like his other movies, I think you'll like this as well.
I still have not seen it. I've been told many times to watch it, but
I think it's...
I'll go home tonight and I'll watch it.
You should.
Yeah, I'll go home tonight.
It's, if you don't know, dear viewer, it is free to watch on YouTube in HD. So you can go watch that right now.
But have you seen his Funny or Die short, though?
No.
Oh,
did he have
so are you a real Ari Aster fan?
Does he really have a Funny or Die
short?
shirt?
Yeah, I think he does. I haven't seen it either. I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah.
I don't know that I've heard of that, but is it like a cool Batman parody? Is it a cool Christian Bale Batman parody?
I honestly have no idea what it is.
But when I think of Funny or Die, I think of like funny Christian Bale impressions from Batman.
When I think of Funny or Die, I think of the night I got my first laptop when I was like in 5th or 6th grade. I think 5th.
Yeah.
I got my own laptop, my first laptop, and I remember I was watching Funny or Die videos on YouTube.
Well, those are always
like the first night I had it, so
yeah.
That was the first thing I ever did with my own personal laptop. Watch Funny or Die.
The first thing I did with my personal laptop, my first laptop, was watch Kinda Funny.
Oh, nice.
Good old Game Over Greggy.
I mean, it's not good as Funny or Die, but
I don't like Greggy no more, so
yeah.
I'd have to.
No, I was also watching College Humor. I was watching Funny or Die in College Humor.
Oh, College Humor is the one that does the funny Batman voice.
Yeah.
Funny or Die probably.
And I remember they did the short where they did make the hand vagina, and then a real baby comes out. That was one of the first things I watched.
That's pretty genius, I can't lie. That is pretty genius.
Thank you, College Humor.
So thank you to them. But yeah, the Johnsons is sincerely fucked up. I feel like it's more fucked up probably than Midsommar or Hereditary.
It's so real.
It's so crapping real. No, but I think it does a really... It looks as good as his movies. It has like a pretty good production value. Because they have like a beautiful house and they have like a nice wedding little scene. And it's fucked up. And it's like, it's realistic, but not quite realistic because of the dynamic. If you know anything about the short. It could, but obviously it's much more rare than the other way around, if you will.
It could happen.
But I think the reversal, I'm hesitant to say it out loud because I think we'll get demonetized. I don't want to say it. But the reversal of the abuse, I think is it does a good job demonstrating like how fucked up it really is when, you know, a family member abuses another. Because I think a lot of people might be desensitized to certain, like a father being the abuser. Yeah. So it's interesting, and it's really fucked up.
Abuse in all forms is bad.
But that's what I'm saying is I think the reversal kind of makes you less desensitized to it and makes you think like, oh wow, you shouldn't abuse nobody. Yeah. So it's really good. Check it out. And that's about it. 3 out of 3 stars. Nice. Great short. Yeah, it's like 30 minutes though, but
yeah. So
it's good.
Well, 30 more. That's not long.
Still a short. Still not a feature film or nothing like that, but it does look like a movie. So huge props to him because I think both of those were.
My Life's a Movie.
Both of those were. I mean, his movie was, The Johnsons was 2010, I think. And then his
Hereditary was 2000. What
was it? 14?
17?
Oh, maybe.
I can look it up. No, it wasn't 14. Definitely after that. Maybe it was either 2017 or 2018. I'll tell you right now. It was 2018.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Midsommar came out only a year after.
Huh.
That's pretty crazy.
Ari Aster just, and I think he got the deal for Midsommar before he even finished Hereditary, I think.
Yeah, that would make sense, I think.
Yeah, especially for how fast they came out in succession.
Yeah.
Evan. But yeah, it's incredible, Evan.
It is.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Because if someone made a short film about that, I could see them never working in Hollywood. But the fact that it was so well executed, I think he proved himself, obviously.
I don't know if I agree necessarily, but maybe.
Maybe not. There's a lot of people that start off doing real nutty stuff.
Yeah. there's a lot of people who just work doing nutty stuff. So,
yeah, that is true as well.
Yeah,
but just props to Ari Aster. He makes it work no matter what you give him. So, and I know Midsommar actually he talked about in this interview I watched that the studio basically pitched him make a movie in Sweden. Like, make a Sweden horror movie.
Oh.
Like, that's all we care about. Just do that. And he was like, okay.
That's kind of creepy.
He was like, I can make that work.
I wouldn't like that.
I wouldn't really like that either. Yeah. But, props to Ari.
I didn't think I ever heard about that. Because I saw a few interviews when the movie had come out. Him talking about, like, the research he did and all that. And then going to Sweden, stuff like that. And about how the central relationship was, like, inspired by his real life. But I didn't know they were like, oh no, make a horror movie in Sweden. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, because they were basically like, yeah, we'll give you X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
You can make whatever you want, just Sweden.
Oh.
And he was like, well, I already had a story, like in the chamber, so I guess I'll just work it into Sweden.
Yeah.
And I think it turned out, obviously fantastic. So.
Yeah.
Spoilers. For my opinion on the movie, I guess.
Yeah, because this is your first time seeing it.
Yeah, I've never seen Midsommar. I've owned it on Blu-ray, I think, for 2 or 3 years. Never watched it, but cracked it open, got some use out of it, and I did watch it, and I did enjoy it.
That's good to hear. I think this was my fourth time watching it.
Fourth time?
Yeah, my fourth time seeing it.
Sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say I've only actually seen the theatrical version once.
In the theater.
The 3 other times have all been the director cut.
So I did want to mention that as well, and I'm curious to hear about your thoughts on the additional scenes because I watched the theatrical cut, and I don't know. It sounds like there's some interesting stuff in the
director's cut. Yeah.
So.
It doesn't change the movie like drastically or anything, but the scenes that are in are good.
Yeah, that's what he said. Really, is it's like if you watch the movie, it's kind of the same movie, but you just get more context.
Yeah.
In the director's cut.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I kind of would have preferred to watch that one, but
There's one scene specifically I wish hadn't been cut out.
Mm-hmm.
Which we can get into it.
We sure will.
Yeah.
Well, I guess synopsis.
Basic synopsis.
Synopsis time?
Well, before we get into that, can I talk about my first time seeing Midsommar?
Please.
Yeah, my first time seeing it. It was on the... I guess, yeah, because I saw it that Thursday it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was July 3rd. Yeah, I'm guessing. I was like, it might have been the 4th already. I don't think it was, though. I'm guessing it was the 3rd. And I think the Friday was the 4th. But I could be wrong. But anyways, I was at work and it was like super busy. And I was like rushing to hurry and finish because I wanted to make the movie. It was like a 9:45 or 10 o'clock showing, something like that. And I was working at the restaurant I used to work at. I don't want to dox myself, so
Yeah, please don't. But yeah, you were in food service.
Yeah. And I was rushing to get out of there.
You worked at a Burger King.
Yeah, I worked at Burger King. My favorite restaurant, Burger King. I was rushing to get out because I wanted to see it really badly. So I hurried, got home really quick. I forgot why I stopped home, but there was some reason, maybe to drop something.
Change clothes or something, maybe.
I don't even think it was that.
No.
Or maybe.
Probably needed your M&Ms.
Yeah, I need my.
I know
M&Ms.
for me, I need my M&Ms.
I need my M&Ms,
so,
my classic M&Ms. No, that might have been it. I think I changed my shirt or something like that and put a hat on. Yeah, I think that was it. And I left hurried. When I got there, it was like halfway through the trailers or something like that. But anyways, that's not important. I just wanted to set that up because I remember I was like rushing to go see it.
But you made it.
I made it, of course. And so it's interesting. The last episode when we did In the Mouth of Madness, we kind of mentioned how the horror genre can give people some visceral reactions.
Oh, they sure can.
And certainly I've been to screenings of horror movies where people were certainly reacting as the film was on, but Midsommar was the exception. It was pretty packed, the theater, but it was dead. So people were pretty silent throughout the whole movie, and by the end of it, I could tell it was like, you could just tell, like, people were not really fucking with it. Like, they didn't really like it. And I was sitting next to the couple, and the guy was talking about, like, how he thought the beginning was really stupid and didn't really tie into the rest of the movie, which I disagree with, and we can get into that.
Yeah, I definitely disagree with that.
And he was like, yeah, the whole thing about Danny's family was pretty pointless to the rest of the movie. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that the day I saw it, I remember I was like, oh shit, I loved it right away, but I could tell, like, oh yeah, people in the theater were not fucking with it.
It's not fucking Insidious where you're gonna have like moments where the audience gets to scream and they get to. Yeah. There's none of that.
It's not like it's a horror movie, but I'm kind of hesitant to say, like, it's not horror in a traditional sense.
I think Ari Aster's stuff kind of feels like, obviously he's very talented and like more, he's more I think artistically inclined, but I think his stuff reminds me of like a Black Mirror or like a Twilight Zone. It's not like horror, it's like a
Hereditary, though. I would definitely consider a horror personally, but
I guess I did watch Hereditary. It didn't really strike me as too horror-y. I mean, I guess obviously there's witches, and like there's like, the whole sacrifice-y thing at the end or whatever the fuck happened.
By the end, I don't know. Personally, I would consider it horror, and then definitely by the end when she's like possessed and shit. But that's just me.
Anyways,
I think the end is very creepy.
I guess I don't have a great memory of it. It was epic. It was good.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. I've actually only seen Hereditary once. I do want to rewatch it.
I don't even really remember her getting possessed.
Oh, you don't remember when she's like beheaded at the end?
The mom?
Yeah. Chasing Alex Wolff.
She gets beheaded?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really remember. I remember like them being pissed off at the dinner table together. And I remember like the secret grandma cult and like them being naked, I think, in the treehouse, and like they're gonna possess Alex Wolff at the end, or
he gets like he's like the vessel for Paimon or whatever, like the demon they worship. Yeah,
classic Paimon.
Yeah.
So I remember that. I don't really remember the mom too much. I remember her being like obsessive and like with the miniatures, and her like blaming Alex Wolff's character for the sister's death.
The sister's death. Yeah.
He likes, Ari Aster likes a fucked up face, I guess.
Yeah.
No disrespect, of course, to the young actress.
Yeah.
But there's a more severely deformed character, obviously, in Midsommar.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that, yeah. And they kind of have similar roles, kind of.
Yeah, because there's like, in Midsommar especially, it's like the only character with a kind of supernatural element is like deformed.
Yeah. And
then there's kind of like, I guess like a similar type of thing going on in Hereditary with her, so it's interesting. If there's a magic cripple in his next movie, that's called a pattern.
Yeah.
It's called a pattern.
He's a serial killer.
But yeah, continue. Did you have anything?
Oh no, I just wanted to mention that. But
just how the theater was kind of dead.
And that guy's reaction who I was sitting next to.
It is not a crowd pleasing movie.
Definitely not.
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there are some people that would get some kind of a cheap little laugh or whatever out of just like the dickhead like college guys getting murdered.
Yeah.
Which only really 2 of them are dickheads. But, well, spoilers, but, what can you do?
Well, Josh is kind of a dick, too.
Not nearly as much as
Yeah. But he is, like, kind of.
Yeah. He's definitely not,
kind of
like...
up his own ass.
He's definitely not, like, the coolest guy in the world.
Yeah.
But he's definitely, like...
He's not really a dick to Danny like the other two. Like, because Mark kind of is, like, he doesn't like her. He kind of, like, he's kind of indifferent about it. He's just so focused on, like, his studies.
Yeah.
So where to him it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, he really is just there for school.
Yeah.
Which, that was interesting to me.
And Pelle's kind of a dick, because...
Well, I mean, obviously he's a dick, because he fucking... what's the word? Orchestrates the murders of, like, 8 people.
Yeah.
So, 4, I guess. Right?
Or well, 2.
3.
3?
3. all the
boys.
Yeah, all the boys.
3.
That's something I want to talk about too. Pele's fate and whatnot. But I guess we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
So the synopsis. Evan, do you want me to do a quick synopsis?
Yeah, sure.
So Danny is a troubled youth.
Yeah, she is.
Is she not? So they're
a troubled young adult.
A troubled youth.
Young woman. A young woman.
Young woman. Played immaculately by the beautiful, illustrious, and talented Florence Pugh.
Yeah. She's quite talented, isn't she?
Very talented.
I liked her in Little Women.
I liked her in Black Widow.
Saw Little Women.
That was a really good movie.
Well, honestly, she was one of the better parts of that movie, in my opinion. But it wasn't a great movie, so who cares? But
what do they say? You can't ice a turd.
And also, Don't Worry, Darling. She was one of the better parts of that movie, also, which was also not. She a good
does
movie.
Carry.
Yeah. So
I mean, as far as you can carry a fucking terrible movie.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, those movies aren't really saved by her. But this movie, even though this movie's good, it's absolutely elevated by her.
Yeah, for sure.
There's one scene here in the beginning that I want to talk about here in just a second where she's like insane. Insane.
Lead good.
Insane. What's the word? Like
in performance and talent.
Yeah, insane level of acting. I'm not kidding. Yes.
No, I agree.
I was trying to think of a comparison, but
I agree. You saw my old review, so you know.
I did. I liked it. I was
my old review from 2018.
I was like, I see you, Evie. I see you.
My old review from 2018.
Follow us on Letterboxd, of course. You want to drop your Letterboxd name?
It is, I don't even know. Oh, it's, Nintenkage.
Which is badass.
Yeah.
And mine is DY.
It's my old Reddit name from high school.
Oh, jeez. I'm going to look up the comment history on that account.
I don't even think I have, I only made 3 or 4 comments. When I go on Reddit, I don't really comment or like anything.
Yeah, Reddit's something else.
I just scroll. I doom scroll.
I think we can all relate to that, Evan.
Yeah.
I think we can all relate to that. What are you going r/politics r/poll?
What? No. Isn't poll 4chan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't want to get into all that.
Anyways,
no, I on that page I remember I posted a bunch on not a bunch, but I made a few posts on Naruto, and that was all on the Naruto subreddit.
That is pretty fun.
Yeah.
That is pretty fun. I basically just go on r/Marvel Legends, the action figure.
That's pretty awesome.
And r/
Now I don't even use an account. I just... Wait, what were we going to say?
Nothing. But anyways, fucking... so yeah, she plays a character named Danny.
Yes.
Florence Pugh. And she's the protagonist. She's the protag.
She is.
And she's dealing with her sister, who... is a demented, twisted individual.
I don't know if I'd say that.
Yeah, I would definitely fucking say that.
She's sick in the head.
Yeah, demented? How is that not demented?
Well, I guess what she does is... No, because, she kills her fucking parents.
Yeah, she sure does.
Yeah. I was thinking just she killed herself. I'm like, I don't know if I call her demented, but she did bring her parents with her.
She murdered her parents. Yeah. She sure did.
That was pretty fucked up. Come on, just kill yourself.
Yeah, because
you really had to bring them with you.
When I saw the cars, we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. I do want to talk about
a little bit.
There is the element of before all this. That does happen in the beginning, but before that, you're introduced to Florence Pugh's character Danny, and she has a boyfriend named Christian.
Wait.
Okay.
Actually, no, just keep going, because you're going to talk about the synopsis. I can bring this up after. Cool. I want to talk about the very first frame of the movie, but never mind. I can just mention that after.
Sure. But yeah, Danny, she is under a great deal of stress because of her sister. Her sister's constantly, I don't know the word.
She mentioned she's bipolar.
Yes.
And she kind of constantly making I guess threats to kill herself and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I guess the way not the way that she sees it necessarily, because she's her sister, she's worried, but the way Christian sees it, she's kind of a ploy for attention. Christian being her boyfriend, until I mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the scene in the beginning. So the movie basically starts off with
her reading the email from her
there's
sister.
An email from her sister that's basically goodbye, I'm bringing our parents.
Yeah. And
she's freaking out, and then Christian is
because she sent her 3 emails in response, and she hasn't opened them or read them or whatever.
Yeah. The movie is so good, man.
This is a great scene. This is a really good scene.
And there's there's really cheap callbacks. And for example, Evan, Black Adam.
Mm-hmm.
There's very cheap mathematical screenwriting 101 kind of callbacks. Yeah. But in this, like, it's so good.
I thought Black Adam was a great film.
Well, but it is a great film, but in a much different way, okay? But in this, callbacks are things like, there's the 3 emails that she talks to Christian about the 3 emails, and she's like, I sent her 3 emails, she hasn't responded, she sends the message to her parents. Oh, say, okay, you know what? We're talking about the movie. Let me finish the synopsis.
Yeah.
She's a stressed young woman with a not-so-great boyfriend, and she's invited on a trip to Sweden.
And she's traumatized because, she is traumatized, but I was like, I don't know. I'm like, is that getting ahead of myself? Not really. She's traumatized. She's deeply depressed. Her sister killed herself and her parents.
As we mentioned, yes. Basically, her entire family is now dead.
Yeah.
And on top of that,
she does her 3rd cousin.
She does have her 3rd cousin. Who was that?
That was a joke.
Oh.
It's the Grow text her. I know I'm a day early, but happy birthday. It's her 3rd cousin. We're getting a spin-off about her.
I'll watch.
Yeah,
I'll watch. But yeah, she's... I think it's pretty... The guy you mentioned in the theater... That he said that the opening does not connect to the rest of the movie. That's the whole point of the movie, It's like there's
what do you mean?
There's this person with no support system who finds a new support system. Like,
That's like... It's obvious.
Obviously the whole...
And I remember when I watched a review... It might have been Chris Zuckman. So if it's not you, Chris Zuckman, I apologize for misquoting you.
No libel on Stuckey.
But I believe it was him, and I believe he said the same thing where he's like, he didn't feel like the beginning of the film had connected to the rest of it. Which is, obviously not true.
Well, I guess at the end the movie doesn't come out and like Florence Pugh, like Danny is not like, I'm so glad I found you guys. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, I guess, if you're focused on all the weird culty kind of stuff, and then you're like, well, what did that...
Yeah.
So I guess I can see that, but, anywho, you want to take it back and talk about the beginning?
Yeah, did you finish the synopsis?
Yeah, Danny, she goes, and then they go on the trip to Sweden.
Okay, yeah.
She's kind of...
wacky, some wacky stuff happens.
And also I meant to say as well, so there's the stuff with her sister, and
you mentioned the relationship is on the rocks.
And it, that among, I suppose, other things, have put a strain on her and her boyfriend's relationship.
Yeah. Well, they were already on the rocks, as we see in the beginning.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like that probably among many things has put strain on their relationship, yes.
Well, I want to mention, of course, the very first frame. This is, you probably know this by now, but if not, a fun fact. Well, the beginning, the very first frame, the artwork, is a whole
tapestry
summary of the whole movie.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So you're into that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's kind of cool. The artwork, it tells you everything happens.
That is pretty cool.
Are you fucking crazy? How would you spoil your whole film in the first frame?
Spoil your film? My God!
In the first frame?
And I thought he was mad before.
Only a genius could spoil their whole film in the first fucking frame.
What a fucking genius.
You gotta be crazy.
My
sorry.
word.
I realized, I think it was on your PS4, but...
That's alright.
Because I thought I heard the PS4 sound, I was like, what? Yeah, I didn't put it in rest mode, I apologize.
That's okay.
Okay.
I only had my life's work loading on that.
Oh.
That's okay.
But also, okay, so after that, then you get, like, just some shots of, like, the forest.
Landscapes and stuff of Sweden, right?
Yeah. Is it Sweden?
I think
Those
so.
Okay. I didn't know if that was, like, America, because it's snowing at that time.
I think what it was supposed to be was, the tapestry is supposed to be in Sweden, and then the landscapes are Sweden.
Okay.
And then it comes back to America,
Okay,
I guess.
I wasn't sure.
I think.
But anyways, you get, like, that creepy, fucking, like... Not opera. I don't really know what to call it. Like
guttural music, whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah.
But I really like that hard cut when it's like just showing the landscape.
Me too.
Playing, and then it cuts with the phone ringing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Me too. Like that actually, no joke. There were 2 moments in this movie where I kind of like jumped a little bit. That was one. That one wasn't out of fear, but it like caught my attention.
Because it's like yeah,
it gets your attention real good. I could see that being done in like a. Far be it for me to interpret the genius of Ari. I couldn't do it. But that did strike me. That did stick out in my brain.
I was gonna say, I think the first time I saw it in theaters, it actually did kind of because obviously I hadn't seen the movie before my first time watching it. And just like the hard cut and it's like so loud.
I guess just the way the opening kind of like is so methodical and
yeah,
slow.
Yeah.
And it snaps you out of it.
Yeah.
Like at the perfect time.
And also not to get too deep, not to read at the beginning, but I don't know, maybe there's something there, just even those first shots, I don't know, kind of this tranquility about, if it's Sweden, like you mentioned, the tranquility of like Sweden versus then when you get to get the cut to America, it's like very abrupt and loud. I don't know.
There's a few things like that in here that we can read too deeply into. And we'll
so, is it possible?
Hopefully those things will bring me back. I did take a note. There was one thing that I was like, I don't want to forget this. Yeah. But there are other things that I should have written down that I didn't. So hopefully I'll remember. But yeah, so the phone rings, and it's I forget. Is it showing the parents' bedroom?
Yeah.
It shows the answering machine. Close up on the answering machine. And it's Danny's message to her parents. Yeah. It's kind of, her worrying about her sister and the previously mentioned email.
Yeah, and her parents as well, because she said they're coming with me.
It's quite ominous.
Yeah. And you see them, it looks like they're just sleeping.
Badass reveal.
Yeah. Of course, are they sleeping?
Huh.
They're fucking dead.
They're going into that great final sleep.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
But yeah, it looks like they're just like sleeping in bed or whatever, and then comes back to her and her. I guess she's like in her apartment, her dorm, one of the two.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Apartment.
And she's like been calling them, no answer. She's reading the emails, and then
she's kind of frantically. Yeah. Kind of going over the emails, and then is like kind of drawn to reply again and again.
Yeah.
And she's she's very stressed about it, rightfully so. Of course. And the first thing she does.
I hope anybody who loves their siblings would be worried in that situation.
But of course, Evan.
And if you don't love them, well, they can just die. Well, your parents, come on, don't take your parents
come on,
with
son.
you. Yeah.
Come on, son.
Well, if you hate your parents and you hate your siblings, so then you lucked out. You won the lottery.
Win-win,
I want to see that movie. Where it's like,
where she's like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah, I want to see that movie, and then it ends. But yeah, then she called Christian, and I think this is really good.
Yeah, the first thing she does is call Christian.
Yeah. This is great, because, you don't see him at all here. You just see her on the phone talk to him, and they're talking, you can hear him. But it's like, immediately like, okay, this is a relationship that's not going so well.
Yes.
Because he's like, well, you hear like Mark in the back, played by Will Poulter, Dylan's favorite actor.
My favorite actor.
Yeah. He already sounds kind of annoyed that she's like calling him again.
Yeah.
And
this was so, just the juxtaposition too of Florence Pugh's kind of in this crazy, stressful situation. She's very isolated, obviously, because her family's dead. She doesn't know that yet. Yeah. But she's kind of alone in the apartment. She's calling people for help. The only people that can help her are her parents and Christian, really. Yeah. And you see, she's trying to get some help. And then she calls Christian, and then he's like, oh, whatever, babe. Yeah. And they're just like eating pizza and smoking weed and stuff.
Yeah. He said we just finished smoking resin. That's what he said. And kind of dismissive, and he knows that something's wrong with her. Then he brings it up. He's like, oh, how's the sister thing? But he's like he deeply sighs before he said.
Yeah. I did have the captions on, so I had special attention.
It's a deep sigh.
Yeah.
But
well, I wanted to mention this. Yeah. Because I think this is some of the best face acting. People say that kind of cringe.
Yeah, because she's like, like that break. It's like when you're in the verge of tears, but you're not like. She like captures that.
She was
perfectly.
Edging the tears.
Yeah,
for like a full minute. And I'm sure they did. Well, I'm not sure. I don't know, but they probably did like multiple takes of that. They might have done that for a whole day. I don't know. Yeah, but that was probably a tremendous amount of strain. Yeah, for her to keep yourself in that place for that long. That's fucking insane. And the thing is, too, I another I don't know what's the word another thing I commend her for is that I didn't think of that until the scene was over, because it was like very gripping. Yeah. Just watching her face and like the tears. There's one part, I forget what makes it happen, but eventually a tear does roll. And then I was kind of like, holy shit, like I forgot this was a movie. Just seeing that, I don't know, it was very immersive. Yeah. It's very immersive, and it feels very real. And I was like, oh shit, like this is a person working. Yeah. Like that's insane.
I agree.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, Christian, he's like dismissive of it. He's like, your sister's just trying to get attention. You know, she always does this.
Yeah,
whatever,
and,
blah, blah,
and Danny says like, oh, you're right. Like,
yeah,
you know, she does always do this. I just needed someone to remind me. I'm sorry. Like,
yeah, and okay, this is something else. This happens a lot throughout the movie, but she's like, it's very real. She's always saying sorry when he's being a dick, and that's like, you know, like I feel like it's like I don't know what the word. It's like a symptom of like, and then like not an abusive relationship, but you know what I mean? Where it's like
it's like when a kid becomes a serial killer later, but they were like torturing animals before.
Yeah, it's
like that. It's like if this is happening, something's wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a symptom of dating a gaslighting.
Fucking Chad. Yeah. She could be dating a nice guy like Pele.
Yeah, well. Maybe Pele. Did Pele get his? Maybe.
I wonder, does he? That's really interesting. I can't wait to talk about that.
Pele.
I can't wait to talk about that because that's really interesting. But, yeah, that does happen quite a few times.
Yeah.
And I think it's made very clear towards the beginning of the movie that there's a one-sided relationship.
Yeah.
Where he just wants to have a girlfriend kind of thing, and he's kind of like over her.
He's over this relationship.
But she's like trying to make it work, and she's very emotionally attached, and she expects things from a deeper relationship than he even thinks about.
Yeah. And also, and then she also says at the end of the phone call, like, "Oh, I love you," and he's like, he's hesitant to say it. Yeah,
I love you.
Yeah,
it's like that.
And yeah, she knows it. She's not ignorant because then you get the phone call with her, like she calls a friend.
Then she calls her friend, yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, well, you know, he's kind of a dick, and she's like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like overloading him with all my fucking family crap, whatever, blah blah blah. And then she gets a call from an unknown number. Oh, scary,
spooky, scary skeleton.
And then you get Christian's side. I like this scene a lot, too, because it's also very real when he's, like, at the pizza place with his friends, and then Mark is like, dude, just break up with her, like, what's the point of being in this relationship? And,
yeah, she doesn't fuck you, like, yeah.
He says that, and then she's always calling you, she needs a therapist, blah, 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 crazy. And you know, what's funny, speaking of that, we do get a shot of when she's on, I don't know, it's, like, hinted out a little bit that maybe she's not, like, fully mentally sound.
Danny?
Yeah, because you get a very clear shot of her grabbing some pills. And it's not like they ever really go anywhere with that. But it's there for a reason, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, close-up shot. I don't know what the pills were, though.
I think it's, it does go out of the way to show what they're called.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming those are, like, antidepressants or something.
Yeah, something like that.
But I think because you just mentioned the therapist line, and then he's like, she already has a therapist.
Yeah.
I think what it is the movie's trying to kind of maybe hint towards the fact that Danny is, like, she's not, like, some victim. Like, she's trying to get help, but she doesn't have support from the people that should be naturally supporting her.
Yeah,
especially Christian, obviously.
For sure. But I just wanted to mention that, like, maybe...
But I just think the meds and the therapist might be, like, you know, she's not doing nothing about it. You know, she's trying.
Yeah. I agree.
Ah.
I agree. But this scene is like, okay, obviously it's like really douchey, like bro talk, but I feel like it's real as fuck, and like honestly, you know, I feel like I've been there before. It's like, dude, like you're always complaining about this relationship, like why don't you just break up with her already?
I could name a few names.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, we've been there.
No, it's real, and that happens with, you know, girls do that too.
Yeah,
and everything. So
it's like, oh, you've been complaining about this relationship for a year now. That's what he says. Like, why don't you just fucking end it already? I forgot what he says, though. He's like...
Oh, he says, well, what if I break up with her and I regret it immediately?
Yeah,
like,
I want to get back with her, yeah.
Yeah.
And Mark, of course...
Well, she would take you back, to be honest, but...
Well, yeah, you know, no, she's a girl boss, as we see by the end.
she definitely is a girl boss.
This is the female Joker, good for her film.
I would say it's better than that, for sure, but...
Oh, no, it's fair. Of course it's better than Joker, but...
Well,
I was just referencing the fucking memes.
Yeah.
The good for her movies.
I don't know, like, Girl Joker is like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo or something.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, this movie feels more, like, human than that.
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
I don't even think she's really even a girl boss, because she doesn't have that much agency over what happens. I mean, she's given a choice at the end, I guess, but...
She becomes a girl boss at the end.
I suppose.
I was joking. I was just referencing the fucking meme.
No, I feel you.
Because I always see that it included, like, you know, the Sigma male movies and then the girl boss movies. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, and also it's like, oh, there's like kind of the flirty waitress at the pizza place, and Mark's like, oh, you could be fucking her.
He says you could be impregnating
her. Foreshadowing?
Is that a bit of foreshadowing?
There's a lot of foreshadowing throughout this entire film.
Such as the entire film being
spoiled
shown
in
to
the
us
very
in the beginning of the movie.
And of course we were introduced to Pele, who mentioned that as well. Oh, you could think about all the Swedish girls in Sweden.
And that's a bit of a foreshadowing as well. I think the way that Pele is like the nicest one.
What do you mean?
Because Pele's like the nicest one, and then obviously she kind of...
Oh, well, we see that later, but he does, like... He doesn't say, like, oh, break up with her, but he does mention, like, oh, there's a bunch of other girls in Sweden that you could be having.
But I just mean, Pele slowly starts to warm up towards Danny, and he's, like, the only one that's kind of, like, decent to her, which is weird, because that includes her boyfriend. But,
yeah. And Josh is also there, who's like, oh, you should be focusing on your thesis. And he's like, you're just worrying about this relationship, in you know, as an excuse to not worry about the PhD. So it's also, like, just those all little lines is a good introduction to each of the character and kind of what they're about. Yeah. You know.
Because Will Poulter wants to fuck.
Yeah.
And then, what's his name wants them to go, Pele wants to go to Sweden.
Yeah.
And then fucking Josh wants, you know, he's a bookman.
Yeah, he's a bookman. So I like the introduction.
It's a good introduction. And it's a good, like, focal point, the relationship and their discussion about it. And, like, their different... kind of takeaways.
Yeah. Well done,
Ari.
Bravo, Ari. Written script. And then, of course, he gets the phone call from Danny, and she's found out. Oh, she just starts screaming.
Yeah, she has the nasty scream.
Yeah,
she says no.
She cries a lot throughout this whole movie.
Oh, so, doesn't she?
Yeah. So you won't be hungry for that cry. Let me say that. Because you're getting plenty of it.
No, you're keeping helping to that cry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And of course, we see after that, we get the cut into the firefighter coming to the house, and this is very fucked up how they died.
Well, also, I want to mention real quick, just the way the Evan, it speaks to the indifference of the universe.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Ari Aster is a genius.
Yeah.
Now, just the way it's like so real as well, which you know, I might want to put a limit on how many times I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah.
But the way that she calls,
and
then fucking what's his name, Will Poulter, what's his name?
Mark.
Yeah. You know, he's like, oh, dude, don't answer it.
Yeah.
And then he kind of takes it, he walks away, and like, you know, Will Poulter is like fucking with him, and he's like not gonna let him out to go talk to her. But yeah, he gets out, talks to her, and then you hear like screaming.
Yeah.
Which is the fact that it's like, oh, you're a bitch girlfriend, like don't answer.
Yeah.
And then like her family's dead.
Yeah.
And shit when you answer, and it's like, I don't know, that was a good moment.
Yeah, it was.
And then, like you said, the firefighters, that whole scene was great.
Yeah, it is.
It looks great, feels very dramatic.
That last image is disturbing. The sister has the fucking...
That looked badass.
It looked badass.
That's gonna be my
be your screensaver.
That's gonna be my new profile picture or something.
We see that image a lot throughout the not a lot, but we see it a few more times.
The sister?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when she's like first gets high with the shrooms later.
Yeah, you do see the sister.
Yeah, and then you see it one other time, I think, in one of her dreams.
I think you see her. Oh, the cliff, in front of the cliff. You see her.
Do you?
Yeah.
In front of the cliff?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
When she's tripping and the lovely 72-year-olds jump off the cliff.
But they weren't tripping in that scene.
She was.
Well, she wasn't Well, it wasn't like she was like...
It might
kind of having like a panic attack.
It might not have been in that scene, but there's a moment where you see her sister sitting with those two people.
Oh, yeah. I think it's during one of the dreams.
Yeah, it's a little later. It's not actually during the cliff scene.
Yeah.
But that's when you see it again. But that is a haunting image. And this is one thing I wanted to mention earlier.
That's a horrible way to die. It's like leaving the car. I don't really know how that works.
Yeah, so what she did was put put hoses on the exhaust of both cars, left them running, and then ran hoses up to her parents' bedroom so that it would kill them in her sleep, and then put one on a mask and put it on her face.
Yeah.
And you see, so there's that whole...
Damn, you kind of jumped out the window or some shit.
You could have shot yourself in the brain or like OD'd like a normal white woman. Like you didn't
horrible.
need to do all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's sincerely fucked, obviously. Yeah. But I like that whole scene because it kind of... The fact that you see the two cars running and then the firefighters turn the car off with the masks on, they go upstairs, they follow the hoses, and then they see the sister, and then you realize like, oh, like they didn't answer the phone because they're dead. Because the answering machine is right next to them. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just like a good little unraveling of a little tiny little mystery kind of thing. I don't know. It's well done. But one thing I really loved was the way
Well done, Ari.
Well, bravo, Ari. Have you ever seen that meme about Vince Gilligan?
No.
That's a meme with him where I guess there was someone on Reddit like talking about Breaking Bad where they were like, the fly represents Walt's erraticism. Bravo, Vince. Like, I don't know. He complimented like that on some bullshit, and he said, "Bravo, Vince."
Are they wrong?
So it became a meme.
Was he wrong?
No, he is a genius.
Yeah, was he wrong?
No, he is a genius. But I love the way that it has the sister sitting there, iconic against the desk, and she's dead. Beautiful.
What an iconic image! Like, it's crazy how it's like taking over our fucking like culture.
It's that image of definitely on the horror subreddit. It's the banner.
Yeah.
You know that?
Is it really?
No.
I was like, is it real? I'm like, that would kind of shock me.
But it is like a really good image.
Yeah.
But yeah, it pans up from her dead body and you see like 4 messages from her. I love that too because before that you had seen when Danny's on the phone with her friend talking about Michael. She's
Christian.
right. Fucking Jesus, Christian. Same name to me. Healthy Christian names.
Yeah.
But yeah, he when she's on the phone kind of venting about her boyfriend to her friend, she's kind of still worried about her sister and writing a 4th message.
Yeah.
And you don't see her send it, and then later it says, 4 messages from goddamn. That's called visual storytelling, I think.
It is.
That's what that's called.
It is. Imagine if you put Ari, Sam Raimi, and Vince Gilligan in a room together. Imagine the meeting of the minds.
The meeting of the fucking minds.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be crazy. Right?
They should make a fucking Justice Society movie or something.
They should.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, and then you get the next shot. It's like Christian walking to her apartment. He shows up and he's holding her in the bed as she fucking screams her lungs out.
Oh, yeah, she sure does.
And you get into the title sequence. I really love the title sequence, by the way.
So what is it?
It's like just it's like, film A24 presents a film by Ari Aster. It's like in the snow. And you get the title. I mean, it's nothing crazy or anything, but I like the music a lot. By the way, the whole film has a really great score.
If you say so.
I like it a lot.
I didn't really notice.
I was like, I think it has a great score. And so the music playing, and then just the title sequence in like the snow, I really like it a lot.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo, Vince.
Bravo. It feels epic, like with the music playing there.
Yeah.
It feels kind of epic.
Yeah. This man knows when to cut.
Yeah, he knows when to cut.
He does know when to cut.
No, but seriously though, I was like, after like that beginning portion of the movie, and then you get the title sequence there, and it's like that music playing. It's like I was like, oh shit. I was like, holy shit, because that intro is like crazy. It's like, damn. It's like, what's coming?
Yeah, it's like this dude doesn't even consider the movie started yet.
You know? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, because it's almost like, it's kind of like Drive. You know, where Drive had the beginning. Where you see him doing like the getaway, before you get into his house.
A bit of a prologue.
Yeah. It's like almost like kind of like a short film on its own before you get into the actual movie.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Drive in that way.
Pretty badass.
Yeah, and then I guess it cuts to, I don't know how many. Did they mention how many months later it's been? It's been a decent amount, I'm guessing though, because now it's summer and that was in winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a decent amount of time. Also, some thematic stuff with the seasons.
Oh, is
obviously, yeah. I would say she was living in darkness in winter, but
winter is death and summer is the heart of life.
Yeah, exactly. Precisely.
Bravo, Adi.
But it's like I don't know how many months later. A decent amount. Cause
it is later.
Yeah.
It is later.
And we see she's still pretty much... She hasn't gotten over it because, well... Imagine 3 of your family members dying all at this fucking same time.
Really, her entire family.
Yeah.
As far as we know. You know, it doesn't really clue us into any...
Yeah.
And I think that's the point, right? It's like...
She has nobody now.
Yeah.
Except Christian.
Which is not much of
somebody
it's her
dick boyfriend.
Yeah. So.
And maybe... She probably has some decent friends, maybe. She
guess.
Calls someone up. One of them texts her a day early. That's pretty nice. Happy birthday a day early. In the car.
That was a sweetheart.
So that was nice. That's in the theatrical cut, right? Because I know the car ride's a bit longer in the director's cut. Definitely.
Actually, maybe not. I think I was assuming that you had seen... there's one part where it does hold on her text messages for a moment, but I don't know.
Okay, because the car ride's a little bit longer in the director's cut.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't sure or not. I guess I'll just ask now. I mean, I'm skipping ahead, but who cares? Him having the book of the secret Nazi language... Is that in the theatrical cut? Okay, I would think outside. I'm pretty sure that's only in the director's cut.
No, that's not in it.
Okay. That was kind of weird. I don't really know what to make of that. I wish you had seen it.
Him being Josh?
Yeah, Josh. It's like the secret Nazi language of whatever, like, the Scandinavian people are called or whatever.
Okay.
But I kind of wish you had watched the director's cut just so we could maybe mention that quick shot really quick. But anyways, so yeah, she's still depressed and Christian's still a dick. He's like, oh, I'm going to this party just for 45 minutes. He's like, he's like, you stay in bed, you get your sleep.
That is so hard to watch. Because, yeah, it's like, and then when she gets up, she's like, no, I haven't slept anyway. It's like, oh, damn.
He's like, I'm only going for 45 minutes.
It's like, oh, I'm just going to go to this party, like, just stay here. Like,
yeah.
It's like, dude... You can cancel. Dude, word of advice.
Yeah.
If you have a girlfriend and her entire family dies, cancel that party that day. Don't.
It's been 6 months, bro.
You're right. It's not the same day. Okay. Damn, that was 6 months or something like that. Yeah.
I was joking anyway, but.
Well, I forgot there was a time skip. You know.
Yeah. You should probably still be nice to your girlfriend 6 months after her entire family dies.
Yeah, she's Maybe even if she has an alive family.
Yeah.
Maybe ask her, does she want to go?
Yeah.
Or some such thing. Yeah.
Well, he's kind of using that as an excuse for her not to come.
Yeah, he just wants to leave her.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you get your rest. That. I know.
It's like, oh, you're such a good guy.
But they end up going to the party together. I like this shot a lot, too. The next shot, when they're in the party, it's like, oh, they're all talking. And she's just kind of standing there, not listening. Because I feel like this like unrelated to any trauma or anything like that. Just like we like
dissociation.
With a bunch of people talking, you're just there. I've been there. I disassociate a bit. This is me when I'm disassociating. I saw a tweet that was like, why do you say you're disassociating or just zoning out? And I agree.
I think that's the same thing.
And I agree. Is it?
Yeah.
It could be. But is it really?
I think it is.
I feel like disassociating's like... I don't even know how to really describe it. It's like
you feel like you're not there. But I feel like there's like a very blurry line between those two things.
You may be right.
Yeah.
You may be right. I feel like disassociate's like a harder version of zoning out.
Because dissociation is like there's an element of like you actively probably don't want to be in that situation.
Yeah, it's like Radiohead, you know, how to disappear completely.
I don't know.
I was joking.
I don't know.
Radiohead.
Oh, we'll have to listen to Radiohead's discography after this.
Can we?
No.
We can start with Kid A.
Okay. But yeah, the party.
Yeah. I just like that shot until she hears something like, oh, Sweden. They mentioned going to Sweden. This is very fucked. They're literally going to Sweden in 2 weeks, and she still does not know about it. Which is crazy because they were talking about the trip already, like, 6 months before or however long.
Yeah.
And she still does not know. 2 weeks before.
Wait, I wonder, is that in my version? The theatrical cut?
Yeah, because Pele says, oh, think about all the Swedish girls.
Oh, duh, yes. Yeah. Of course, yes.
So, yeah, so they've known they're going on the trip. And he never mentioned it. Literally 2 weeks before. And he's like, oh, well, we might be going. He's like, I don't really know for sure.
Yeah, he tries to gaslight the fuck out of her.
Yeah.
Because he's like, he's like, oh, I didn't even decide I was going till today.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then she's like, you had tickets. You have plane tickets.
Yeah, because after the party, you see they get into an argument about it. I also like, but just back to the party for a second, that feels very real too. When it's like, oh shit, like somebody just said something they shouldn't have.
They mentioned something the girlfriend didn't need to know.
Yeah. And everyone's just like in a very awkward situation there, like
yeah, and everyone just shuts the fuck up, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know you said we have a limit on saying that, but also very real.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Oh, I was gonna say I watched. I mentioned this during Sandtember, but I watched the Merowitz Chronicles.
Stories.
Sure.
Yeah.
And people commend that movie for having like realistic dialogue. It doesn't.
I haven't seen it. So I can't
people talking over each other about two different things is not realistic. I don't think that's ever happened to me in my entire life.
Yeah.
But this, it's like a different type of realism. You don't get points just for having people talk over each other.
Yeah.
You know? But the dialogue in this actually has like a rhyme and a reason.
Yeah.
And like you said, that whole party scene where like, it's like, oh shit, like the girlfriend is not supposed to know. Like that kind of thing. That's real.
Yeah, it is real. It is real.
Israel.
And yeah, so they're getting into the argument in the next scene where she's like, well, you wouldn't tell me you already had the plane
Yeah, they
ticket.
get back to the apartment after the party.
And this is more where she like ends up kind of becoming apologetic.
Yeah, because she confronts him.
Yeah. And I'm going to say, I wish I watched the director cut because this scene is longer. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it goes on, and she gets like, she starts like begging him not to leave. And she starts like apologizing. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Well, that does happen.
But it's in the director cut, it's longer. They show more when she's like sitting on the couch. I know.
Does she actually like get him to sit down?
Did she? I think so.
Because in the theatrical one, I think it cuts when she's asking him to sit down with her, or like it doesn't last too much longer after she asked him to sit down with her.
Well, either in both of them, he does sit down because that's when he invites her to come.
No,
he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna invite you to come."
No, in the theatrical one, I don't think you find out he invited her until the next scene. Because he's like...
Oh, when he goes to the apartment?
Yeah, so I don't think he sits down
in the director cut, yeah, he sits down, he's like, I'm going to invite you. I wanted it to be romantic. I didn't... So he gaslighting the fuck out of her.
Oh, man.
He was like, I wanted it to be romantic. I was going to surprise you.
That's a good...
That's why I didn't mention it.
That's a good lie on top of a lie.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it kind of explains why your worst lie was a lie.
Yeah.
You know? That's... God, he's such a dick. And then, But I do like how it still further makes him a dick. Mm-hmm. Because they do cut that out, like we said.
Yeah.
But it still kind of establishes still that he's a dick. Mm-hmm. Because he shows up to the friend's house and he's like, hey guys, like, so Danny's coming, but she's not really going to come. But she said, I invited her and she said she's coming.
Yeah.
But, like, just act like you always knew. Act like you guys invited her or something.
Yeah.
And then he just drops that on them. And then he lets Danny in. So it still does a good job of like, yeah, he's not a good guy. Yeah. Even to his friends, really.
And I do want to mention that really quick. There's a shot I really like in that scene in her apartment.
Is it the transition?
No, it's when she's like talking to him and you just see like she's talking to him. And instead of doing like the reverse shot
mirror?
of them talking, yeah, you could just see him in the mirror.
Yeah, that was good.
I always like shots like that.
That was good.
In Evangelion, Hideaki Anno does that a lot, where he shows like, you know, there's a way to like show
clever ways of showing the
two people talking without having to do a reverse shot. So nothing crazy, but I like that. Yeah,
I appreciate that too.
It's good. Yeah, and then like you said, the next scene, it's he's a dick. He's like, and it's honestly he's a bad friend too. Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that. We see more with Josh later, how he's not such a great friend, but he's the way he just drops it on them, and it's like, I don't know. It's like, okay, so obviously the way he's treating Danny and everything is fucked up, and but I also feel like it's bad because like they're expecting like a bro trip. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's kind of bad because just because you're like having this whatever with your girlfriend, you gotta like bring it on.
Drag that all into our trip.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, bro, you stay here, or work your shit out. You know what I mean? Or maybe not wait until 2 weeks before to fucking tell her you're going.
Shit, and then like the day before to tell us that she's coming.
Yeah.
Because not only does he come in there and ask them to lie for him, he also forcibly invites her.
Yeah.
In the same breath.
So, bad friend.
What a bad man.
Bad man.
Bad person.
Yeah, bad man.
It's crazy that like, because later, we'll get into this as well, but he kind of cheats on her. I don't think he really does, to be honest.
We didn't get into that.
We'll get into it, but I feel like that's not even like.
That's something I definitely want to talk about.
That's like the least bad thing he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's such a dick.
It was just kind of a way to like.
It fully separates them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But we'll get into.
But I do kind of feel bad. Well, I don't want to talk about that.
We'll get into that later. Yeah, there's a lot more.
There's questionable morals behind everything that happened.
There's some nutty activity. Going on.
Okay, and then this one we see Pele starting to slide in.
So he does a little something.
Yeah, because Mark is like, he doesn't want her to come. He's like, oh, can I take you? Can you come to this other room with me and read this paragraph on my laptop or whatever? Oh, that's funny. And then Josh is just he just goes to like the microwave to cook something or whatever. And then Pele's like, oh, I'm so happy you're coming.
So we should mention
Sweden.
We should mention very quickly. Mm-hmm. Pele is the Swedish one.
Yeah.
That he's like a they do something in his community where they go out for a few years and come back.
Yeah. And I get like by our standards he's like a foreign exchange student, I guess.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, do you consider that when you're going to university? Probably not considered foreign exchange.
It's kind of like it's more like an Amish thing.
Yeah.
Where in like Amish culture they say like, okay, you're gonna go out to the to a like urban society for a year and come back and you can decide like, do you want to stay or live there?
There's probably been like 50
wacky
comedies made about this concept before.
I would argue, including this one.
Including this one. Including a Midsommar sex comedy, which we will be reviewing.
Which we are talking about right now.
But yeah, he's drawing, of course the drawing comes back. He's like drawing the table. Ooh, very ominous. The way he puts it away. Even though it wasn't really that creepy. He literally was actually just drawing the table.
His dream is to work for IKEA.
Yeah. He was drawing a table. He wants to be an architect. And she's like, oh, Pele, what are you drawing? He's like, oh, I'm just drawing the table. And he's like, I'm so happy you're coming. I know what it's like. And then he mentions, I know what it's like to lose your parents. Or does he mention that there? Yeah, he does.
He does.
He says, oh, I'm so sorry to hear about your loss. I know what it's like. And then, obviously, for her just bringing it up, the trigger point.
She has not been able to confront what happened. So she freaks out.
Yeah, and going to the bathroom, she's like, oh, I just need to go back.
And
he's apologizing. He's like, oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to,
upset you.
Yeah.
But I think this is maybe one of the greatest transitions in cinematic history.
What do they call that? A match cut? I believe that's what it's called, right?
I guess so.
Yeah. But yeah, she goes into the bathroom there, and then it cuts, and then it's like, oh, she's in the airplane bathroom. Still crying.
Yeah.
And it's a good way of showing, like, she breaks down about them pretty often.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think
that's exactly what I was getting
very
at.
Very effective.
Genius.
Yeah,
Genius. Yeah. Genius.
And then she comes out. They're all on the plane, obviously. They're flying to Sweden. I like this, also, when it, just very creepy, when you get the shot going out the window, and then it's like the plane turbulence is like shaking.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I don't know. Nothing deep or anything there, but I liked it. And then we get the car ride of them going.
Don't we though?
Yeah, to Sweden.
Don't we?
Well, I mean they're in Sweden, but they're driving to whatever the fuck his community called. I like that Mark's like.
It's called like Napalm or something.
Yeah,
something
it wasn't actually here. He mentions it earlier in the earlier scene when they were in whoever's apartment they were in, maybe Pele's. He's like, oh, I can't wait to pass through Stockholm. He's like, oh, that's the opposite direction. He's like, wait, what? We're not going to Stockholm? I would love to go to Stockholm.
Would you?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know.
I would love to go to any, like, European major city.
Well, you won't, after seeing this movie, you won't catch me going to Europe. No, sir.
I'll go to Stockholm, but I won't go to, like, the fucking...
The woods.
The woods, yeah, no, fuck that. Honestly, no, Sweden's kind of creepy. I mean, I would love to go, but it's like, you know, it's like...
I'd rather go to, like, Ireland or something.
Yeah, it's like all, like, blonde-eyed fucking... blonde hair, blue-eye white people, you know, and their cults and whatnot. It's very creepy. So,
yeah. Yeah, something about Sweden... I don't know, like, Irish people seem funny. You can drink
go get
with
drunk with them, eat some potatoes.
Ireland, fucking Italy, France.
Italy seems cool. France seems cool.
Sweden.
Yeah, it's like Sweden, Norway, shit like that. Or have you seen Hostel?
Oh no, I haven't.
Also very creepy. They're in what country? I think that was in Norway.
Oh yeah.
Or is it? It was either Norway or Denmark. I think it was Norway.
Yeah, those like.
I guess Scandinavian.
Yeah. Those hickadickadirden type Viking countries. I'm good.
Creepy.
I'm good.
But anyways,
I don't know why they said Sweden. Like maybe if they had a tax break to film in Sweden, or like if they were like tourism people from Sweden. Because remember what I was saying about them like paying Ari to make a movie set in Sweden.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I don't know. That's why I say it's creepy.
Yeah, it is creepy. Like yeah.
It was A24. It was them that was like, hey, go make the movie. No, I don't know if A24 directly funded it.
I think A24 was just the distributor.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if they actually funded it or not.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh. I don't know who did the funding for it.
Fucking creepynorwaypeople.org.
I think A24 is doing his next movie, though, too.
Well, wonderful. Yeah. I was hoping for Disney, but...
yeah, me too.
I guess, you know... Did you see, real quick, very, you know, sorry, very off topic, but I mentioned Tim Burton in the group chat.
Yeah, I saw about that. He was like, oh, fuck Disney or whatever.
Yeah, he said, I'm never working for them again. I was like, okay, based.
It's like, bro, you just made Dumbo a few years ago. Like, they weren't shit like 3 years ago. They were...
I mean, maybe... I think it could have been Dumbo. That's the first thing that came to my mind. It was like, maybe Dumbo, he was like, okay, fuck this. Like, he's not going to burn his contract. He's a fucking, you know, he's a professional.
Yeah.
But I think maybe after that, he was like, all right, that sucks.
I didn't see Dumbo.
I did.
Was it good?
It was all right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did it have the Tim Burton flavor?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Danny DeVito was good.
Oh, is he in it? Who's he play? Is he the mouse?
He's like the remaster.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, is he evil?
No, he's cool.
Oh, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, I don't like circuses.
I don't like, me either. Yeah.
But anyways.
Anywho.
Yeah, the car ride, So, I know the car ride's longer than the director's cut. So, give me your version of it so I can...
Alright, let me tell you... So, they're on the way... Oh, man. Because I kind of, like, just remember the mushroom trip after. It feels pretty short to me, the car ride. So, what happens to the car ride? Oh!
Do you get the cuts of her, like, sleeping? Like, the different cuts of her?
I don't know.
A long car ride?
I'll tell you what I remember. And then you can tell me. So, I do remember there's a good moment of dialogue where they're kind of mentioning... what's his name? Will Poulter is mentioning, like...
Oh, the babes are here.
The Swedish bitches are so hot, like, so much hotter here. And she's like, how much, like, longer?
Yeah.
Like, so that was good. And then what else happens in there? Yeah, they're mentioning Norway. Or, what is it?
Sweden?
No, is it... Wait, what? No, they're mentioning the city. What is it?
Stockholm.
Yeah, they mentioned going to Stockholm, and he's like, no, fuck that. And then... Or was that
No, that was earlier. That was in the apartment, yeah.
But they mentioned something about passing through somewhere in the car, right?
Yeah. Oh, did they?
They mentioned
but he says it's like a 4-hour car ride.
Yeah, because they mentioned kind of wanting to stop, and he's like, no.
Oh. No.
That's all I really remember.
Yeah. In this one, at the beginning, Danny, like, looks over, and Josh has, like, his books or whatever, and on the top one, it's, like, a yellow book. It says, like, the secret Nazi language of whatever. Actually, do you mind if I just Google it?
No, go ahead.
I'll just show you.
Yeah, I definitely don't remember that. So
no, I was pretty sure that was only in the director's cut because I remember the second time I saw it. Fun fact: second time I saw Midsommar was when they re-released it in theaters, with the director's cut before the Blu-ray came out. So there you go. I saw it in theater twice. Midsommar, the secret
Nazi book.
Yeah, it's like the secret Nazi language or something. Oh, there it is. Really? I don't want to see your friend's interpretation of Midsommar. I'm talking about my interpretation.
That's all that really matters.
Oh, was it?
It's interesting that...
Oh, you were right. Yeah. So...
Oh, what's up?
About how he was actually saying, he just wanted to be romantic. That was it just in the director's cut.
Okay, yeah, because they cut before she gets him to sit down.
Yeah. But
she does beg him to sit down.
Here we go. The secret Nazi language of the youth hark with the swastika at the bottom. Danny's like, oh, why do you have that? I forgot what he says. Oh no, well, Pele like kind of jumps in. He's like, oh, Josh carries that around to annoy me. So I always thought I was like, I never really knew what to make of that. Because it's not like, it's like...
Is that all they say about it?
Josh says something, but I can't really remember. He's like, it's nothing deep. He just says like, oh, I
part of his studies or whatever.
Yeah. And Pele's like, oh, Josh carries that around to annoy me. And you can see his face there. He looks a little annoyed. There we go. He looks a little annoyed. He's looking at Josh.
Yeah, and Josh actually looks a bit happy.
yeah. So he thinks it's funny.
Maybe that is what it is, but also I think maybe
there isn't really like themes about like Nazism or anything like that in the movie.
If I had
nothing that I picked up on it.
Evan, if I had to wager a guess,
yeah,
do you mind? If I had to wager a guess, I would say it's a slight kind of like, oh, is Pele evil? Not dissimilar to a Nazi.
Yeah,
but I think it also is like that language. So I guess he's Josh, right? I think he's studying Nordic culture in general. Is that right?
Yeah, or is it Scandinavian? I don't know.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
That like the worst Europe study. And then he
sorry, I'm not a what are they was it anthropology? Yeah, I'm not an anthropology student like them.
I took anthropology.
I took anthropology class also, really easy, but
it was
I'm not
fun.
a major.
I thought it was pretty fun.
I'm certainly no major.
But I think if I had to wager a guess, I think in terms of the story, it might be a little bit like, oh, is Pele evil?
Yeah.
Like a little bit of that, but I also think it's a little bit of like establishing Josh as more so as the guy that's going to know what's going on.
Yeah.
When they get there. And it also kind of makes you question like, is the language that we're going to see them use like linked to the Nazis somehow?
Yeah.
Or
well, we see it's not at all. Kind of.
Well, I don't know.
I'm gonna say well, this doesn't really have to do much with the language. I'm just talking about like the Bible that they have and how they interpret it later.
Insane. Absolutely fucking insane Bible thing. But I mean like cuz they have those they do talk about their particular language that they use with their symbols. They have like a certain amount of
character. And he said like one means like grief or something like that.
Yeah.
And go from holy to most unholy.
Which is bizarre.
Yeah.
But I would also guess that maybe that secret Nazi language, maybe they use the same runes or whatever they're called. Or what are they? Runic symbols? Whatever I don't know, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Maybe, like what I'm saying is the Nazi secret language is like derived from that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Possible. Well, we get also another ominous thing from Pele in that, because remember, Danny's kind of like, okay, so this is also another thing, I guess we didn't mention it. Well, we did kind of mention it at the beginning, but Christian has no idea what he's doing his thesis on. Yeah. Where Josh is like very, kind of, he knows.
He's pretty much going there to do his work. And
then in the scene, Danny's like, hey, Josh, weren't you thinking about doing something kind of similar? I mean, not Josh. Christian. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Like he seems annoyed that she brought up the question. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it something rooted in Scandinavian. And Danny kind of said to Pele, oh, see, you brainwashed all your friends. And then Pele's like, Josh was already brainwashed when I found him. Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of creepy. Like
that is pretty creepy.
Yeah. So,
but I think the actor who plays Pele, he doesn't play it too creepy.
No. It's like, it sounds like my quirky friend from Sweden.
But I just mean in general too. Like that line.
Yeah.
It just sounds like fuck my friend.
Yeah.
Like it just sounds like some normal shit. But like throughout the movie, it does start to get a little creepy when he starts like going off and talking to Danny.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he seems like a level.
Yeah. Well, it's in retrospect. It's like that's just like, oh, my friend, I brainwashed my friends or whatever.
Obviously, this movie was marketed as like,
and he did kind of groom. He groomed them to come to Sweden with him.
He did quite a bit. He did quite a bit. He was like, oh, free fun trip for you. Yeah. But it had me wondering because obviously this movie was marketed off of like nutty Swedish people, evil cult.
Yeah.
So that's kind of all I knew about it, and I also knew generally that Danny like finds some type of comfort in going there.
Yeah.
That's kind of all I knew about it. So I was like, is it gonna wind up being Pele's like? Is he evil? Like, like is he in on what he's doing? Does he know? Like,
yes.
And he completely.
He certainly is.
We do hard confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he has a certain fate of his own.
Oh, he does.
That we'll get into. That is one of the things I'm most excited to talk about.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. But anyways, so we're on the car ride.
Yeah. So yeah, I just want to mention that I think that was like one of the only differences from the car ride and the director cut is that, and maybe it's a little bit longer. But anyways, then they get to fucking the
field.
Yeah, his community or whatever.
Well, no, they go to the field first.
Yeah, but it's like right outside the fucking shit because then they just walk over.
Then
after.
There's like a long walk.
Yeah,
but they get to the point where they stop driving.
Yeah, and they're meeting up because like he has other friends from the community who went out to wherever and came there. Like there's the one Ingmar, who I'm guessing he went to the UK. I'm guessing because it seemed like the two people were there like British.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he went to London.
He went to London. Okay, yeah. So yeah, they went all over the world, I'm guessing, and then came back to bring people there.
Which is badass.
Yeah, which is badass, of course. And then they are like, hey, we just took these shrooms. Ingmar, his good brother, Ingmar.
My brother, Ingmar.
Yeah, we just took these shrooms. You want to get in on this?
And do they? Yes.
And do they? They do get on it. But Danny's hesitant at first, of course.
This was interesting.
Yeah.
Just the way that Christian's kind of like trying to be nice to Danny.
I was gonna say, I feel like this one's the time for he's not like a complete dick because it comes off kind of genuine here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But the thing is, it parallels to me what he does with inviting her. Mm-hmm. Like you were mentioning, like he kind of invites her at the expense of like this trip that's supposed to be for like the friends.
Yeah.
So and then he decides like, okay, I'm gonna be a nice boyfriend now at the expense of my friends.
Yeah, because they all want to get high together. They're like, because he's like, I'm gonna wait for Danny, and they're like, well, we're gonna have a completely different trip. We're not gonna come up together. So yeah, like I said, well, in that case, it's like okay, he's being nice to her, but then it's like at the expense of his friends, like you said. So,
which ultimately, if I'm in that position, it's just like Danny don't do them.
Yeah.
Or, like, B, like, Danny and Christian don't do them.
Yeah.
Like, who fucking cares? Like, and also, that's why I fucking hate Josh, right? Josh is the Nazi language one.
Yeah.
What's the other one's name?
Mark,
Will Poulter.
Yeah.
He's, like, he's such a dumbass. No, he is good in the movie.
Yeah.
His face is just not, doesn't do it for me. But.
He has some interesting eyebrows.
He does.
Yeah.
He has quite the eyebrows.
They look like they're drawn on, like someone took a crayon and like.
They do.
Yeah,
they do. But he, what does he say in that scene?
Definitely said, "Oh, if we don't take them together, we're gonna have completely different trips."
Oh man, there was something about him I was gonna comment on that part, but I don't remember what it was.
Is it after they took it? Danny's like, she's like, "Fuck," because she didn't want to like make things weird between them, so she decided to take the shrooms.
Yeah.
Then they're all sitting there. He's like freaking out.
Well, that he does freak out, but there's something he says that I wanted to talk about right before. I don't know what it was.
That's what I remember him saying. Oh, like we're not gonna come up together if we don't.
I think he says something else, but I don't know. Whatever.
No.
Anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's that whole to do about the doing the shrooms.
Yeah.
And this also establishes because they take something that's presumably also shrooms later
in the drink.
So this kind of establishes the deal with that.
Yeah.
So you know what's going on.
They love psychedelics.
This is one of the better, I think, interpretations of like psychedelics, like being on psychedelics.
That's what I've heard.
Seen.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. So full disclosure, I've never done psychedelics, so I don't know for sure, but I've heard that the shroom trip is like pretty on point, and
it's definitely one of the better ones I've seen. I have not done psychedelics.
Oh, okay.
But I have been insane.
Oh, you have been insane.
And I like, there's some subtlety to it. There's not a whole lot of, And it's also, if you've never tripped on shrooms, I think you could probably get a good grasp on how well it's interpreted. It's just like a dream, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like random people show up. Like at one part she's tripping and her mom just like walks by. Or like we said, like she sees her dead sister sitting with the other 2 dead people. And
also the way everything moves. That's what I've heard a lot too. It's like, oh, everything's moving. I've heard that about acid.
Because sometimes the background will kind of have like a wavy effect. And also when they're sitting at the dinner table, that big giant dinner table. Yeah. And like in the foreground, that chicken is kind of like moving around.
Or her hand like becomes part of the grass.
Yeah. There's that. And that, I think, because I mentioned this to you earlier. It was in the middle of me watching it. And I was kind of texting you about my thoughts so far or whatever. And I was like, that mushroom scene, maybe you could have cut that. Because we were talking about how basically Ari Aster was like, I cut the film down to 3 hours and 45 minutes, and I could not figure out what to cut. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not that deep in it, and I'm already like the mushroom scene. Yeah. And I was like, maybe cut that or trim it down. Yeah. Because it does establish some stuff, and I had a feeling the mushrooms would come back, so I was like, that does establish that.
But I think it does also, like, because a big part of their thing, this community or whatever, is like, being, like, one with nature or whatever. Oh, yeah. And I feel like that kind of ties in with the whole, like, the theme of the movie being, like...
Community?
Yeah, community.
Yeah, belonging.
So I feel like, that they kind of work together in that way. So I feel like, it's not there for no reason. Yeah. And,
No, the whole scene is not... I don't think it's, like, unimportant, but I think you could trim it. I think there's quite a few things you could probably trim, but I think there's probably an element of like he's really good at him and obviously there's a lot of other people that work on a movie. Yeah. But the movie does a great job of building stuff up and having a certain sense of like maybe not tension, but just like building elements of it. Yep. So I can see why you wouldn't want to cut a scene short because it's like made that way on purpose. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't know, it's like you can cut a few seconds here, a few seconds there. Yeah. But I'm not a genius.
Neither am I.
I'm not Ari Aster. Yeah. But it's just like, dude, like come on, like some of that 4 hours could have come out of this. Like you could, there's some places I think, but that's just Dylan. That's just me.
Yeah, you may be right.
Right. Well, you may be wrong. You may be right. Circa Billy Joel.
Yeah. But yeah, her trips start going bad because Mark says, "Oh, you guys are like family to me," and she hears the word family. She like is a trigger.
Mark is such a dumbass because that does trigger her. Yeah. But just in general, the shit Mark is doing and saying.
Yeah, he's like everybody lay down.
And he's like getting scared. He's like, I have to lay down. I'm laying down. Everybody lay down.
Also, this is where they also establish like it only gets dark for like during summer or whatever in Sweden for like 2 hours. I would hate that.
That'd be fucking terrible. Yeah. I'd rather live in like Alaska.
I was gonna say in Alaska there's like the opposite. A point that like during winter where it's like dark for like 22 hours or whatever. Yeah, I would prefer that. I think.
Me too. Even though.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I'd become very depressed.
Both would fuck you up. Yeah. Both would fuck you up, but I'd prefer it to be dark.
Yeah, probably. Because like I feel like with the sun out like that, I couldn't sleep.
It's like would you rather drown or burn to death? Like neither is great, but
which would you choose?
Drown. Oh. Yeah, burn would be bad, as we see later in the movie.
Honestly, I don't know which. Both of those sound really bad.
They're both really bad, but there's also a chance if you burn to death, there's also a chance that you die of like smoke inhalation while you're burning. Yeah. I don't know. The drowning sounds a lot cleaner, even though like it would be terrible, obviously. But
obviously,
obviously, yeah. But we both almost drowned.
Yeah.
IRL.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I've never almost burned. So
me either.
I couldn't tell.
Never been in a burning house.
Could not tell.
Never been in a burning temple.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. I wonder if you're referencing anything.
No, I'm not.
Anyways.
But yeah, then she passes out for 6 hours because they're fucking. Oh, I wanted to mention though the bad trip though. That seems pretty realistic as well. Like for how a bad trip would be. And I like when she's like saying when she's trying to walk away, and she's like, "No, don't think about that. Don't think about that." Yeah. I'm gonna say, okay, so I mentioned I haven't done psychedelics, but I've been extremely high on
illicit substances.
On Mary Jane.
And this was whatever the statute of limitations is on that ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're good.
It was bad. I was like, I started freaking out. And when she's like, no, don't think about that. I was very similar for me. And it's like, okay, that only makes it worse.
Oh, yeah. That's real. No, because that's the thing. And like I said, I have not done psychedelics, but I've done weed, and I also was kind of insane. And I can tell you for a fact, and also witnessing other people as well, you cannot fight that.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do is fight it. Even though that might be your first inclination, but the worst thing you can possibly do is fight it. Because I remember I had a good friend. I didn't do them, but a bunch of my friends did shrooms, and he kind of knew too, like not to fight it, because people were like telling him like he had like a mini stroke or like a.
Oh, you mentioned.
Yeah. But he was like, he handled it so well when he got back up. Obviously, he was still tripping.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, like I'm good. Like he just tried to sit back.
That's a laugh at him.
He tried to sit back and relax. It is funny.
Yeah.
Because like, and I don't know, he handled it well. But yeah, it's like you definitely don't want to fight shit like that.
Yeah. So well done there as well.
Yeah, that came across as very epic.
She runs out, and after seeing her dead sister in like the fucking bathroom or whatever, it's like an outhouse,
weird shed,
whatever.
Yeah.
And then she sees her fucking dead sister, runs away, passes out. Oh no, she passed out for 6 hours, and it's now her birthday.
It sure is.
Like if we didn't mention that, the day they were landing, it's like right before her birthday, and then it is her birthday, of course, 6 hours later. Again, there's more. It's like, okay, our trip is getting fucked up because the relationship thing. Because you see, they're like visibly annoyed, like Mark and Josh and them, because they had to wait for 6 hours for her to wake up. That's crazy to pass out. I mean, I guess drugs will do that to you.
Damn, that is crazy.
Yeah, and then after that, they do their long walk to the community.
They sure do.
And oh my god, it's so beautiful, isn't it?
Oh.
So beautiful.
I actually expected, no disrespect, I did expect the movie to be a little prettier in terms of the landscapes and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh, it's the Sweden movie. Like,
yeah.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful. But it was alright.
I think it's really well shot.
I think the sets and like the costumes and like the location is great. But there wasn't as much like, oh, look at Sweden. Like the landscapes and the nature.
Yeah.
As much as I thought there would be. But I mean, that's not.
I think it works so because they're in like, they're just in this
middle
small
of a
community.
forest.
Yeah.
So
I think it's really well shot.
In general, the movie's beautiful. Yeah. I'm just talking about like the way I expected them to kind of show off the landscapes and stuff. Yeah. But that's not really a knock against that because I don't really care about trees.
Yeah. Yeah, you got your fill at the beginning.
Yeah, I got enough trees. Yeah. That's all right.
And yeah, they're all. Is it misleading at the beginning? They're all very nice. Oh my god, they're all very nice and offering to carry all their luggage and whatnot away. That was very kind of them, was it not?
No, not really.
No, it wasn't.
No, not super. No.
Yeah, that's just called being a good host.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're not kidding.
I don't know. Anything to really talk about here?
They get there. They dump their shit off. The old guy's like, hey, welcome.
Hey. Welcome.
I guess there's not too much to say.
Yeah. I guess we didn't. Well, Christians failed to say happy birthday to her now. It's her birthday.
Yeah.
Because she is mentioning also, she's like, it's about to be your birthday when she's having the bad trip, and also when she was speaking to Pele earlier on the apartment before they flew to Sweden. She's like, yeah, but it's going to be my birthday when we get there. And he's like, oh, happy early birthday or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, he has not mentioned it. So, things not looking so good there. Which is funny because later she blames herself for him not remembering.
That was... So, I do appreciate the way that they handle her kind of being apologetic and being the kind of... the actual person that cares in the relationship, because she's willing to blame herself for anything as long as she can like kind of keep him.
Yeah.
But that one, I was like, okay, like it's a little silly, but that's okay.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that. Though she's like, oh, I didn't really remind him. Like,
I think...
But it's like... And then later... I mean, I get what you're saying, yeah. But then later she kind of says, like, yeah, it was bad that you forgot when she... when he's trying to make it up to her.
Yeah, she kind of acknowledges that it is his fault. But it's just like... And I guess, like, she's trained herself kind of to be, like... Not put anything on him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, come on. Like, come on, son.
Come on, son.
Come on, son. He doesn't look at Snapchat?
Yeah, you don't look at Snapchat? Come on. No, they didn't have service there, remember?
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah, they didn't have service.
Because then they would have called the police.
Yeah. So, there you go.
But yeah, it's a nice, quaint little village town in the center of, like, nowhere in the middle of a forest.
I like the costumes.
Beautiful costumes. Elegant costumes. Beautiful architecture and set design.
Yeah.
Epic. Awesome. And
they're starting the festival as well. The older lady was here a few times. She's the one who talked to Christian in the house later. She's like, she's like speaking some fucking whatever, and she's like, yeah, welcome. We're starting our Midsommar festival. Score or whatever. Is that what they say? Score.
Something like that.
Yeah, some shit.
Baklava,
whatever. So yeah, we can go ahead a little bit. They're getting accustomed to their area, and then we find out they go to like the not house. I guess like the little house, whatever they're staying in.
Yeah.
Cabin thing. I don't know. It's not really a cabin. It's like kind of bigger than a cabin, but I don't really know what to call it.
Yeah, all the structures kind of look cabin-esque.
Yeah, but he mentions here like, oh, when you're how everything is divided by the ages or whatever.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
So it's 0 to 18 is it's like life is like the seasons. Again, seasons are brought up. So 0 to 18 is
spring.
Yeah, spring. It's like growing up. The 18. If we're the 18 to 36 is like kind of like what we in America would be like our teenage years.
Yeah.
They say, that's like when you become an adult, 18 to 36. Then they say 36 to
52.
Yeah, 36 to 52 is the labor years. So I was like, that's completely different.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
Weird.
Labor years here is like as soon as you turn fucking 18, or after you graduate college or whatever,
But very late in life.
Yeah, and then 52 to 70.
Mentor, which is winter.
Yeah, 52 to, what is it? Is it 72. Just to 72?
72.
No, it's 54 to 70.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Because it's divided by 18s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is mentor. And then they're like, what happens after you turn 72? And he like,
does
makes a gesture.
The neck slit gesture. Motion.
But it's funny, it's like, they think he's joking at that moment. Of course he is not.
And then the next day you find out that he's not fucking kidding.
He's not kidding at all.
He's not shitting either.
He's not shitting. He's not pooping.
No, he's not pooping.
He's not shitting. But I feel like some other shit happens that day, though, before they go to...
What else happens?
Well, Pele does say happy birthday to Danny. He gives her the drawing.
And that's while they're doing what? They're just, like, sitting down, talking shit.
Yeah, it's like...
And we haven't mentioned the, we have kind of, like, the other two people from London.
Yeah. And there's interesting, because it's like, when they're talking with them, kind of getting accustomed to the whole thing. Ingmar's like, who's the other Swedish guy? It's kind of a similar dynamic with Pele and Danny and Christian, where it's like, he's like in love with the chick, and she's in the relationship.
But it's more overt with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Pele is kind of like...
And also, it appears that they're not in a shitty relationship. They seem like they both like each other.
Oh, yeah, they're happy. They're getting engaged.
Yeah, they're engaged. Yeah. Oh, which leads to a moment between Christian and Danny and them, which is very awkward.
What is it?
Well, Christian doesn't remember how long they've been together.
Oh, yeah.
And that's really awkward when you're to talk to the engaged couple, you know what I mean? It's like, that looks bad.
Yeah, and it's like 4 years, no shade to anyone listening.
Yeah.
But 4 years is a long time to not be engaged, so.
Is it? I don't think so.
I mean, it's a pretty healthy amount
If you're
of
like
time.
an adult, they're like, still grad students, you know what I mean?
Oh,
I think if you're like, you're like 33 and you meet somebody and then 4 years later, it's like, maybe.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I don't judge anyone for that thing.
I do. I do. Buy the ring. Buy the ring.
But yeah, they were grad students. So
no, I just wanted to fuck with. There are two. I know two friends that are not. Their girlfriends would like them to propose.
Oh.
But they have not yet proposed. But I don't blame you because who's got money for a wedding at 24?
Not many.
Not
people.
me.
Not me. Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Me either.
But yeah, the juxtaposition of this happy couple.
I'm going to Vegas to get married. Like,
Chapel of Love.
Yeah.
Do Back to the Future 2?
That'd be awesome.
Remember Back to the Future 2?
I haven't seen it in a long time.
She, because, they go to their future house.
Yeah.
And Jennifer is like, she, like, wakes up in the house in the future, and she sees, like, their wedding picture, and she's like, I get married in the Chapel of Love.
That's awesome. That's funny. I'd be like, yo, that's dope.
That's funny
That's what I want to do for real.
Dude, Back to the Future 2. I just watched it. It just happened to be on TV. I watched it while I was eating the other day. Good-ass movie.
It is good. When I was younger, I used to like it more than the part one, but I have not seen it in a long time.
Honestly, because I watched Back to the Future 1. Last time I watched it was when we did it for the podcast. Then I watched Back to the Future 3 during that next Thanksgiving after that, and then I just saw Back to the Future 2. All of them, bangers.
I was never crazy about part 3, but I haven't seen it in a long time.
I really didn't ask.
Yeah. Well, just giving my opinion.
Really didn't ask for your opinion.
Okay,
all of them are 5 out of 5 stars. I'm just kidding, Evan. I respect your opinion.
No, you don't.
But I just wanted to mention that I rewatched them all recently, and they are great movies. But anyways,
I might have a different opinion now. I've not seen it in a long time.
Well, you very well should.
Yeah.
Because November is going to be Back to the Future month.
Oh,
yeah.
We're doing part 1 again.
We're doing part 1 again, then 2, then 3, and then we're going to do the footage of the ride and the entire cartoon.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So
that'd be awesome.
Yes, it will.
I don't think I could do part 1 again because we did a pretty good.
We don't need to do part 1.
We did a pretty good analysis.
I'm just playing. Yeah. I don't expect us to ever do any movie again.
No, I'm just saying as a side note. I don't think because I feel like our analysis of part 1 pretty good.
We brought up. That's my favorite movie. I've seen it probably more than any movie. The first Back to the Future. Yeah. We even talked about some stuff that I never even thought about that I think is like legitimate.
The stuff about George.
Yeah.
And Marty. I remember that. I was like, oh, I didn't think about it at the time, and then when we talked about it, it was like, oh. But anyways, go listen to that episode.
If you listen to this one, it's a little heavy. Maybe cool off with the Back to the Future episode. Yeah, it's a good episode.
Yeah, it is a good episode.
It's a lighter film.
It is a lighter film.
Yeah.
But Ingmar is like, okay, he was like, oh, me and Connie used to date.
Connie, yeah.
And she's like, no, we went on a date. I didn't even know it was a date. And then her and Simon met, so that was like kind of awkward. But the point is that Pele kind of has a similar dynamic. It's not as like sad as something, but it's like, oh, you see Pele obviously kind of has feelings for Danny.
Because I think what's happening too, and there's one thing that I think the lore of this little wacky village is interesting, but I think it falls off a little bit. But I do like how, because it seems that Pele's friend, like the one who brought the London people, those
Ingmar.
Ingmar.
The reason I remember him because famous Swedish director Ingmar Bergman.
Oh,
so that's my Ingmar. That name sticks out in my head.
And then I remember, I actually personally did remember Connie. Just because I think Connie is the name of the Indian girl in Steven Universe. And I think the girl in this is Indian too.
I don't know what they are.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know there's a lot of Indian people in Europe though. Because, or not Europe, England. Because they're, colonizers.
Yeah.
But anyways, freaking...
but I brought that up.
I wanted to mention about that. Because Ingmar, it seems they both tried to kind of groom them, into bringing the girls into the commune. But Pele did a way better job.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Because, Pele is like, he's trying to make her feel cared for. And like, Will,
yeah.
But then fucking the other guy was like, I love you. Like,
okay, yeah, I see what you mean by that. Yeah. I was like, well, either way, they both got them.
They did get
and what
there.
Happens, what their purpose for being there ends up happening either way.
Yeah, so he did his job, I guess. By hook or by crook. They say.
But no, what happened with Pele, I guess, is a bit different.
He had a little more finesse in there.
Yeah, but I was mentioning that to say, like, okay, obviously Pele has some kind of feelings for Danny, and then when he gives her the drawing, it's like, that is kind of like, for your boyfriend's friend to give you like I don't know. I feel like that's not a normal gift. That's kind of like
barring the relationship. That's a very personal gift.
Yeah, exactly. And then he even says like, "Oh, I think there's something just be between me and you." You know what I mean? So it's like, because I feel like it would be weird if it was like, "Oh yeah, your friend gave me a drawing of my." So yeah, like you said, it's like very personal. And he mentions that like, "Oh, just between us." And she says, "Oh, Christian forgot." Anyways, it's like, "Oh damn, well, he's a dick." Yeah, and then you see later, Pele reminds him, "Oh, it's Danny's birthday."
You know what that reminds me of, Evan?
What does it remind you?
Can I mention something?
Mm-hmm.
This is nuts.
What?
So in that 70s show, okay, something similar happens.
Which episode?
There's like a love triangle, like a bit of a love triangle, between like Eric, Donna, and I think the curly head one.
Which one's the curly head?
His name starts with an H.
Oh, you mean the guy who like fucking went to prison?
Well, no, we can't talk about that. We can't talk about that.
But that's what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
I forgot his name in the show.
It's like Hoss or something.
No, there's not a love triangle between them. He's in love with
there is
with Mila Kunis' character.
They
get together later.
There is a love triangle in like the beginning of the show in like a couple episodes.
Oh, is there?
There is, yeah.
Because I know he gets with Mila Kunis, and obviously her and Ashton Kutcher are together.
That's way later in the show, though.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Ashton Kutcher's character is not the same as. Anyways, my point is there's a similar love triangle, and then like he kind of almost wins Donna's affection by giving her a framed picture of them. I don't know, it just reminded me of that. Oh. So if you want to pull a chick, picture. Yeah.
Or a drawing.
Picture, No,
the picture... No, neither one worked. Never mind. I'm going to say the picture works more than the drawing.
But they were from the third-party guy, and they almost worked. So maybe if you're almost already in there, and there's not another guy, maybe it'll work.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, that's completely irrelevant.
Yeah. But yeah, Pele reminds Christian, oh, it was her fucking birthday. And then he tried to pull that shit where he had the piece of cake. And he came and get it on the candle to light on.
That was maybe the only like kind of cute moment that they have.
I disagree because I feel like it's just so sad.
No, it is sad, but the way she kind of playfully like blows it out.
Oh, she didn't blow. She was like, yeah. She's like,
no, she blows it out.
No, because he never gets it on fire.
She blows it out as a joke.
No, I think she's like, no, just stop.
She blows it out as a joke. I'm 100% sure. Yes.
Well, if that's what happens, whatever.
Well, I'm just saying, like, that was like one of the only cute moments I think they had together as a couple. Yeah. Even though like he's still obviously an asshole.
Yeah.
But it's a moment where he finally kind of admits that he's at fault.
Yeah. And but he kind of, because he says like, oh, the day changed. Like that's the reason.
Yeah, he was like, I thought it was yesterday. That's not even a good excuse. Because then why didn't you say happy birthday yesterday?
No, he means like, oh, he thought today was yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay then.
Well, yeah. That's fine.
No, but I think it's one of the very few moments where he's actually apologetic and she's like actually kind of what's the word
well, she's like, yeah, you fucked up.
She's kind of confrontational to him, so it's like the most normal feeling moment between them. I don't know, it's kind of interesting.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
But anyways, to skip ahead a bit, then they're having their like first night sleeping inside the thing. There's something kind of interesting here. You see like a couple like slipping away. Oh, a couple slipping away.
Do they?
Yeah.
What happens there?
Well, you never find out, but it's just interesting. I don't really know what to make of that, if anything at all. It's there for a reason, right?
Maybe there's an unnamed other group of tourists that were being abducted.
No, but it looked like it was like
Swedish
like
people.
No, it was like a guy and a girl. Like like they're sneaking away like to fuck or something like that. Yeah.
But I don't know. But the same thing happened to. That's what happens to. Fucking what's his name?
No, but they were both Swedish.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they were both part of this group.
They even need a little warm glass of milk.
Oh yeah.
To go to sleep.
And also we know like all the people who actually end up dying, especially by the end. It's like confirmed. Yeah. Like who ended up dying, so it wouldn't really make sense for it to have been somebody else who got taken away and died there.
There's a third secret tourist group.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna make a spinoff on HBO Max.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, you see that. I feel like there's some stuff I'm missing, but I just kind of want to skip ahead to the Etistupin.
Yeah. So is this the first day of the Midsommar festival?
Yeah, I guess so.
This is the first proper day, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's some other shit that was happening that other day, but whatever. We skip ahead. We already been talking for almost 2 hours.
Well, oh really?
Yeah.
Wait, click it.
It is because it's 7. Yeah, an hour and 48.
Close,
yeah.
Close. No, there is.
And we still have a lot.
So they do mention, like we said, and I kind of saw this coming. Mm-hmm. Not that it was bad or anything, but so he does like the kind of slit throat dead thing, which is like, oh well, what happens when they're 72? Because that's like, we mentioned the cycles of life that they propagate. So, when they wound up doing the festival the next day, and it was very ominous and very slow. They set up a dinner in the shape of kind of like a square infinity symbol.
Yeah. Can I mention something before though?
Please do.
The night before, when they're going to bed. That's why I'm like, because I don't know if that was the first night when they're going to sleep where that's brought up, but it might have been. But anyways, she's like, they're like, oh, what is that stupid? Because Pele says that's happening tomorrow, and Josh knows what it is.
Oh,
he's knowledgeable in this shit. And I feel like this was fucked up on Josh's part. Because they're like, oh, what is this? What is... And he just, like, he wants to keep it a secret. He's like, oh, I guess he thinks it'll be funny or something for them to be shocked by this. But to know, like, the bullshit... Like, it's one thing for it to be Christian, I think. But, knowing the shit that Danny has been through, you know what I mean? And obviously she's still, like, dealing with shit. To kind of, like, have kept that to yourself, I don't know, I'm like, damn, that kind of fucked up.
That is fucked up.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, fucking Pele and Josh are both being like cutesy about it. Like they don't want to tell them, like what the next day is gonna be for the festival.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fucked up.
Would you have watched it?
Would I have watched it?
Yeah. Say like you're there in Sweden.
God forbid.
And you're seeing this festival, this 9-day festival, or however long it is happening, and about they're doing the Etistupin, but they're not gonna kill you or anything like that. Okay. The rest, it's a normal festival, but they do that shit where they're 72 and they kill themselves. Would you go watch it?
No.
You wouldn't?
No, and I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
Because
I'd be scared. I feel like will this traumatize me? That's what I would be scared of.
Well, I wouldn't be scared of being I just don't I don't want to be involved in that.
You don't want to see a head blow up.
Well, I don't want to see that. No.
Yeah.
But it's just like.
Am I witnessing a crime right now?
Yeah, like, you guys are weird. I don't want to do this. No.
But yeah, so, spoilers, yeah, the old people kill themselves at 70.
Oh, yeah, so, yeah.
You're mentioning the dinner they do.
We see...
Or lunch, whatever.
Oh, yeah, so they do the dinner, and there's a very slow build to this part.
Yeah.
And I felt the whole time like I knew what was going to happen, and I absolutely did.
Yeah.
But then it kind of... It does maybe draw it out, in my opinion, maybe a little too long.
Yeah, because they're like... They do this a couple of times where it's like, we'll sit when it's right, and they're just standing up or whatever, or not eating until it's right. It's like waiting till the old people do it, and then they also have the moment where they like start singing or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
and so they pick up their forks and put them down and pick them back up a few times or whatever. And there's a few times where I thought...
But you knew they were gonna die.
I thought that setup was a little too like interesting. And then they kind of brush it aside as like kind of like you said, like kind of like a joke. So I was like, there's definitely, we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
Like in this next part, and I kept expecting. I thought maybe like either they're gonna drink poison at the table.
Yeah.
And they're gonna just drop dead, and then everyone's gonna be like, oh, or not everyone, but like the tourist people are gonna be like, oh, and then and then. Nanny McPhee.
Yeah.
And then
Nanny McPhee part 2. Part 2.
This is her secret heritage.
Yeah.
And then I assume maybe
she look you like Nanny McPhee got her face be looking like
she was one of the
the prophets.
Yeah, she was one of the prophets, the inbred prophets. But I thought either they were gonna drink poison or they were just gonna like slit their necks.
Yeah.
Like themselves, like they were gonna do it at the table. But I was wrong. And they sit at the table for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I don't even really know if they ate. Did they eat? I don't know. Everyone, did they eat?
Yeah, I think so.
They like moved their forks around a few times and like sipped the thing, but
they ate some bullshit.
Whatever it was. And then Danny's like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then they take a super long time to walk up the fucking mountain and the cliff, and then eventually, thank God, that bitch jumps off the thing. It's about time. Oh. It's about time, Grandma. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They all make that trip over there, and I guess Will Poulter was like, "Hey, I can't film tomorrow." So he's like, "Hey, write my character that I need to go take a nap."
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's not in that scene for whatever reason. So he's like, "Hey, I can't eat." So he told Ari, like, "Bro, I can't film tomorrow." Okay.
Maybe they just didn't have anything for him to do.
He probably, like, what would he bring to us? Like, he would just freak out, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, dude, that was so cool. Like, some shit like that.
Yeah, I think maybe he would have just been distracting.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why. Because Josh has the element of, like, he's a dickhead for kind of, like, doing that to them.
Yeah, but also he needs to see it because he's
writing
studying.
The thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But there's that element of he's connected to it.
Yeah.
And then, like, obviously Christian and Danny are the main characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he would have just been distracting. And like you said, like, based on his, like, trip on the mushrooms, like, he would have been like, "Oh, fuck!" Like, you know?
I don't blame him.
I would say that.
Shit,
but that's not, particularly interesting or whatever.
Yeah.
So you don't want to see that in the Will Poulter screaming.
Yeah. I agree.
One thing that I love about this movie is, like, so like me and everyone were saying, the whole movie is kind of about belonging, and Danny kind of finds a new place to belong. Yeah. And there's an element of the movie that comes up a few times where everyone, if someone's in great distress or something, like, everyone else will mimic that feeling, that emotion. Mm-hmm. It can be good or bad.
We see that at the end for sure.
And I think something about that is just, like, genius to me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But it just feels like a great representation of, like, community, but it's also, like, kind of creepy and weird, but it also feels very, like, communal.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
I agree. It's well done.
So that happens in that part.
Yeah.
When they start, I think Danny starts screaming and crying, and everyone else starts screaming and crying too.
They're at the...
I think so.
No, because, like, Simon and Connie are freaking out. They're like, "No, tell them to shut the fuck up," or whatever. But yeah, so the old people, they go up to a cliff and they both fucking jump off.
Oh yeah.
The old lady dies first, and then the old dude, like, he was stupid. So she was smart. She jumped face down.
Face first.
This dude, you see him, he fucking jumped, like, going down his leg.
He jumps like he's, like, gonna land in water.
On his feet.
Like he's gonna land in water, like deep water.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He was a dumbass for that.
And, so yeah, the visuals here on the face, fucking petrifying. The old woman's like, face bashed in.
Yeah.
And then the old guy, obviously, the way he jumps off, he breaks his leg really bad.
Yeah, it, like, snaps in half.
I don't think you can call that broken. I think you call that, like, severed. Yeah. Like, it's destroyed. And, then they come with a big mallet and bash his brains in.
Yeah. And this was disturbing to me, too. I was thinking about this recently, and I saw it in Midsommar also, because I just rewatched Rob Zombie's Halloween the other day. And, of course, Junie, he's in that film, and he dies. But...
Is Junie, like, a bully or something?
Yeah. Oh, okay. He's one of the bullies that fucking young Michael Myers kills. But, this is a disturbing visual to me. When somebody's, like, severely injured or damaged or beat, and you see the blood rush to their eye. Oh. And their eye turns all red. Because you see it in this, too, when he's fucked up. And his eye, like, turns all red. And that happens, but that's a very disturbing visual.
I don't want to hear any more descriptions of that part.
But you know what I mean?
No, yeah, I do.
It's very graphic. But yeah, they bash his fucking face in.
That was hard to watch, for real.
Well, I'm a bit sick in the head, and I can.
I'm a bit fucking. Have you ever seen Itchy the Killer? Nah, but that was fucked. And
I actually think this is more fucked because Itchy the Killer is pretty goofy, and it's like, it has a lot of CGI, bad CGI blood.
A lot of the subject matter is, like, weird and fucked up.
Yeah, but, like, the subject matter is more disturbing than the actual, like,
gore.
Violence. Yeah.
Like, the actual goofy gore in this was. I'm not gonna lie to you, Evan. Mm-hmm. I did cover my eyes.
Oh, you did?
I couldn't... After the first jump, I forget when exactly I covered my eyes.
Well, and probably after you saw the old lady's fucking head explode, because that's the first thing you see, like, bad.
Yeah, I remember because I did cover myself at a super stupid moment.
Yeah.
Like, because I was like, oh, fuck, and I saw his head exploded, or her head exploded, and then the guy jumps, and I covered my eyes. Like, to avoid, like, him hitting the ground.
Yeah.
And then I looked again, and then it, like, pans over to his leg.
Yeah.
So I didn't even, like, cover anything. But that was, that whole part was very hard to watch.
You know what's crazy about this scene, too? I remember Andy was mentioning this, about when he saw it. He felt like, I think his theater reacted better to it than mine did. But everyone was like, oh, shit, like, finally something... Because it's not, like, a scare, but, like, the first, like, horrific thing in this movie, it's already over an hour into the movie where something, like, finally, like, horrific happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and in the promised, like, cult setting.
Yeah,
you know, like, obviously the parents get murdered in, like, a suicide, but that's not, like, gory, and it's not, like, scary.
Yeah, it's not part of the...
And it's not in Sweden.
Thing. Yeah. So, like, the first real, like, horror thing, it's already, like, over an hour into the fucking movie when something finally happens. But I think that, you know, speaks to how good the movie is, because up until then, it's still very, like, the drama is still very enjoyable.
Yeah.
So, so I think that's very interesting. That
is quite interesting.
The big scare first out is, like, that long into the movie. So of course Danny's, like, freaking out about it, and then Simon and Connie are freaking out. They're like, what the fuck? And I like when they're telling the old guy, don't jump, like he didn't even understand what they're saying. They're saying, don't do it.
I would say this part is kind of horrific, because it's not like, you know, there's not a guy with a knife, like, chasing somebody, but it's like, it's very weird. And they honestly, they do kind of have a point, I think. I think this is the last gasp of, like, this is okay. Because the explanation is not terrible.
No, I was gonna say I think it's not bad either, and I think I'll kind of say this for the end a little bit, but I think it kind of speaks to the movie themes a little bit as well, because they're like, no, we want like oh, they lived a good life, it's time to go, like, better than them, like, suffering and dying alone.
And I think Christian even has, like,
a good point
about it, because later he mentions, like, to Danny, like, imagine them seeing, like, us leaving old people to rot in nursing homes. Like, that would be horrific to them, I bet. And
the way he says it, kind of funny, though. He's like, they probably find that disturbing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't do the delivery well, but the way he delivered it, it's like, it's kind of funny.
But he was speaking facts.
Yeah. So it's like...
I don't advocate pushing old people off cliffs.
They weren't pushed. They jumped.
Oh. By Woody.
Yeah.
No, but they
I was like, what movie does that remind me of? And it was like, that's it, Toy Story. He didn't jump. He was pushed
by Woody. No, because that's also a great part in that scene. It adds to the horror of it too, like, because, like, there's a million people there, and none of them want to stop this, and it's something you've never seen before.
And they also gleefully bash the old guy's head in.
And it's interesting, too, because it's like, who are these people bashing his head in? Are those, like, his granddaughters or something? That's kind of what I assumed. Like, that's kind of...
Yeah, it might be.
That's kind of badass. But,
that's badass, yeah. I hope if I'm ever a grandparent, my grandkids bash my fucking head in.
Yeah.
At the ripe age of 72.
But yeah, that's just that weird sense of being alone when you're also in a not giant, but you're in a big group of people.
Yeah.
You know, so interesting.
So she says, like, oh, this, like, a cycle, like, they rejoin the earth or whatever. And it's like they don't want them to, like, die old and in pain or whatever. So
sick.
It's like, so it's like, oh, 72 is a good age. I think I can die now.
I mean, you know?
No, I kind of agree. It's like, it's not a terrible point.
If Jesus came down and told me, Dylan, you die at 72, I'd be like, okay.
72 is not a bad age.
I mean, you know, I don't pray that everyone dies at 72, but me personally, if they were like, you'll live to 72, I'd be like, okay.
Okay, bet.
Okay. That's not bad.
That's a bet.
That's a bet. Thanks, Jesus.
That's less than 50 years from now.
Thank you. Thank you, Evan.
When I think about it, that it's less than 50 years from now, I'm like, That sounds kind of not that far.
Anyways, this is about a movie.
Yeah, 72. They looked older than 72. What are they in there?
I guess so. I was thinking about that too. Oh, that's also how I could kind of tell where they were going. I was like, these two old fucks are like at the head of the table. So we're about to see some old people
die. See them die. Yeah, so she's freaking out about that. It's like, I need to go. Connie Simon freaking out about it. And then Christian has become inspired now that he wants to write his thesis on the Horga. The Harga. Horga? I think it's Horga, right?
Yeah.
Horga?
That might be it.
Yeah. And
I think it might be Harga with an A.
Yeah, but I'm like, how do you pronounce it? I think it's like they say Horga, right?
I don't know.
Is it Harga? Who cares? It's something. I'm not Swedish.
Swedish people.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Josh was like, "Oh, that went crazy, right?" They go back to like their little whatever where they sleep at, and Christian's like, "Yeah, it went crazy. Hey, bro, I think I need to tell you something. I want to write my thesis on the Horga."
He says, "Actually, I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, I need to tell you something."
Yeah.
So basically, he's like, "Yeah, I'm doing my thesis on the same thing."
Yeah.
Which I do think is a dick move,
Mm.
but it's like, does this really affect anyone?
The reason I think it's like kind of a dick move, well, like, yeah, because, well, the reason it's like dickish to me, because like this is something like Josh is like genuinely invested in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something he like genuinely cares about. And then he was just like, oh, okay, like, I just saw two old people kill themselves. Like, sure, I'll just write about this.
Let's do this.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of like he's like spitting in his face a little bit. You know what I mean?
Being a bit of a carpetbagger.
Yeah. But at the same time, neither of them, have we come to find out, even have had even like direct permission to even write about this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like...
And what Pele says to them is kind of interesting. Because he was like, well, like the elder... You don't have permission to like take pictures. We're not going to sign off on any information.
Yeah.
Or like the elders won't. So it's like...
And you can't use any names.
So you won't be, like, there's no way you'll be peer-reviewed.
Yeah.
Which is, like, basically, doesn't that mean, like, it's not...
Yeah, because, like, you know, most, like,
pass.
major, papers get peer-reviewed.
They won't even
pass.
That
get published into scholarly articles and whatnot.
Yeah.
I thought there's one really funny line here when he's like, you don't even know how to use JSTOR until I taught you or whatever.
What is it?
JSTOR is, like, the database that, like, grad students use that has like all the scholarly articles and shit on it. So yeah, I don't know. I always thought that was funny.
Well, now next time I watch, I'll have a good laugh at that.
Yeah.
So now I know.
Laugh. So I thought that was
I'm never
funny.
watching this movie again.
Oh really?
I mean, maybe if I have like a super hot, cool girlfriend that's like, I want to watch Midsommar.
Oh.
But otherwise, nah, I'm not gonna watch it again.
Yeah, at one point I wanted to go to graduate school, be a scholar. So, you know, I was like, oh, maybe one day I'll be doing that. But that's not the path I've taken, but at one point, yeah, it's the path I wanted to take, so there you go. There's my little grad student rant. But anyways, yeah, Christian's like, yeah, I'm going to take that, whatever. And yeah, Pele gives them both, well, he goes to get permission from the elders, and he tells them, hey, you guys have to split it, or whatever. Right? That's what happened, right?
Split it.
Like you both can do it. Like, you had to... That's how they say it. Like, you had to split it with Christian.
You have to share it, yeah.
Yeah. I think he uses the word split for whatever reason. Yeah. It doesn't really matter, but yeah. And you can't use any name, take any pictures, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Here, Dylan, though... Okay, 2 hours in, I do want to mention, here's a major cut. Major difference, I mean, from the director cut and the theatrical cut.
Interesting.
There's another ritual.
Okay.
That same day, when it becomes dark. That is not...
After the elder suicides?
Yeah. So it's like they're feeding Mother Earth.
Okay.
They do you remember when they're decorating the tree earlier?
And with what?
Earlier in the movie, I think it's not that long after. Christian is like, you know what, I'm gonna write on it too, and him and Josh get into an argument, and he goes outside to try and start doing some research, and he's talking to the girl decorating the tree and asking questions. And remember, he's looking for a notepad. He doesn't even have it. He just has the pen. So he can start, like, taking notes.
I don't think that happens.
Oh, that's definitely in the theatrical cut.
Are you sure?
Yeah, for sure.
Huh.
But anyways, the point is they're like, oh, we're decorating the tree. Well, that comes back in the director cut. And they're doing the ritual, and they feed the tree to, like, the river to feed it to Mother Earth with all, like, the jewels and stuff on it. And then this little kid is like, no, we haven't fed Earth enough. I'm going to give myself away. And he's, like, wearing the jewels also. And they're about to fucking throw him in. They, like, put chains on his feet and put a rock on top of him. And they're going to throw him in the river. And, you know, Danny's freaking out. She's like, no, like, because obviously they're about to see a child be thrown into the river and fucking die. But it's just a ruse. They're like, no, stop. He's showing his bravery. Yay. And they all start clapping.
Huh.
So it's just like, oh, like a cutesy thing, I guess. I don't know. it's like, oh, he's showing his bravery. We don't need to feed Mother Earth.
Okay.
But anyways, so she's freaking out after that, and she's like, this. So they get into a really big argument here, and this I wish you saw.
Christian and Danny.
Yeah. Because he's saying like, oh, it's more of him being like, oh, this is just their culture, or whatever, blah blah. She's like, no, this is weird. We need to leave. And
she also wanted to leave after the death of the
but she's saying that again here.
Yeah. But I forgot to mention.
Did she? Is the line about the opportunistic grad students, was that earlier or is that here?
Opportunistic grad students.
Yeah.
By who? Danny?
From Danny. Yeah.
I don't remember.
That might be later, but anyways, they get into an argument here, and Christian basically like, yeah, if you want to go, but I'm staying. And then Christian and Danny's like, oh, do you not love me anymore? She says that to him, and that becomes a whole. And he says, well, what he says, his first response to that is, what does that have to do with anything? So it's like, is that a yes? He's like, what does that have to do with this? And then he turns it around and starts blaming her. Basically, he's like, this whole trip you've just been guilt tripping me, like about the birthday thing. When you gave me the flowers, you're trying to like show how much better you are than me. He says that to her. So it's like, oh, you know, more gaslighting asshole type stuff. He like turns the whole thing onto her, and then she starts apologizing again because whatever. So yeah, that happens. And he looks like a major dick there. So
oh yeah,
I wish you could have seen that.
Well, I did miss out on that.
Yeah.
I think the things I was most interested in too was stuff like that.
Yeah,
more of that stuff.
Yeah. And it gives a bit of different context to the next morning when they see each other and they hug and stuff, and because they like make up a little bit. It's just like it's completely different when you see the night before, because you don't get that in the theatrical cut, and then seeing them kind of make up a bit. It's like, yeah. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Dylan, we've been talking for 2 hours, of course.
Let's keep on trucking.
Yeah, keep on trucking.
So what's the next thing? Because I know it's 9 days, but does it really even show?
It doesn't take place in 9 days.
It doesn't show
it's
9
like
days.
over 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So what's the next?
And then, okay, this day when the shit starts really
And then I think
the
next thing that happens of significance is Josh.
He's being shown, like, their Bible or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, we start learning about the Bible.
Yeah. And he finds out basically it's an ongoing thing. And this is interesting because earlier Christian's like talking to somebody else, and the guy tells him, "No, we don't do inbreeding here. We bring in people from outside." Which is also, I think, is also partly true. He wasn't lying.
No, he absolutely wasn't lying, because we see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, with Danny, I'm guessing.
That was interesting.
That's what we see by the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, "Oh no, we don't do inbreeding." But he's lying about that, because then we find out with Josh, they inbreed to make their like Jesus or whatever.
I think what he meant was we don't do inbreeding out of necessity. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. He lied by omission.
Exactly. And then also he kind of, that kind of foreshadows the fate of Christian.
Yeah. Oh, I'm stupid because I was thinking, oh, maybe with Danny by the end, but obviously, yeah, the big thing with Christian, of course, yeah. But yeah, then they also inbreed to make their fucking Jesus or whatever, and Josh is visibly disturbed by this.
So yeah, what they have is, and the inbred child looks fucking insane.
Yeah.
Insane. That can't be a real person, right?
No, he's real, but that's not how he looks. It's like his makeup.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's absolutely not
like
a real guy.
No.
Because I would feel terrible, obviously, calling him anything if it was a real guy. But, yeah, looks insane.
It does.
And, I found this pretty fascinating, you know? Like, basically, they have, like, an inbred child that they have him draw pictures, and then they interpret that into, like, a religious text.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, a room that's just, like, full of books that's, like, all interpretations of every inbred child. Kind of.
Yeah. And then this one, like, he just paints all over the pages. We see him doing that earlier. And then it's like, oh, you find out what it is. He's just... And the old guy says, like, oh, the elders interpret what they're writing. And they say they're not clouded by normal judgment, which is why they choose them, which is very strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just paints all over the pages.
All that is some of the best, like, lore stuff.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And Josh is, like, visibly, like, disturbed by it.
Well, naturally.
And then, after that, and also here, it's around the same time. I don't remember what happens first. We see, Mark, he pisses on the tree.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, like, their ancestral tree. So it's, like, the equivalent to pissing on a gravestone.
Yeah.
In America. He takes a piss on that.
And he says, "Put your disgusting dick away." The guy.
That guy was really fucked up by what happened.
Oh, he was mad.
He breaks down. No, he breaks down in tears. Well, he's mad, but, like, then he becomes very sad.
Those very fervent tears.
Yeah. He's freaking out. And then, oh yeah, we didn't mention that throughout the whole movie, Mark thinks, like, the chick is, like, coming on to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, well, she leads him to his fate. So yeah, I bring this up to say, so later, they're, like, eating dinner or whatever. A lot of tension here. Josh has found out about the Bible, and he asks, like, hey, Christian, did you find out anything about the book? And Christian's like, Dick's like, oh, so now you want to collaborate? Whatever. He's like, never mind. And then Mark sees the dude staring at him. The dude who got, like, you know, extremely pissed about him peeing on the tree. And then the woman who's been, Mark assumes been flirting with him, takes him away. He's like, Sean, come, I want to show you something. And also, Christian, again, another thing we didn't even mention. So Pele's sister has been, like, kind of looking at Christian throughout the whole movie. She flirts with him a little bit when she gives him the kick when they're playing that game.
Yeah, and he reciprocates.
Yeah.
You know, by going on
and joining
with him or whatever, yeah.
And also we see earlier in the movie what comes here when Connie and Simon first get there. Ingmar showed them, like, the story thing that they have, kind of like the beginning of the movie, and it's their love story, the Hagen love story or whatever.
Yeah.
And the girl, like, putting her pubes in
she puts her pubes in the guy's food and her menstruation in his drink.
Yeah. And then, of course, we see Christian eats the pie, and it has the pube in it, and the drink is much darker than everyone else's.
Which is funny, because they all notice the pube, and even, what's his name? Will Poulter.
Yeah, he's like,
that's a pube! No, because he's like, it's just a hair. And he's like, it's a pube! And then none of them notice that, like, because you see, it's so funny, like, it draws attention to this row of, like, you know, it's a very long table. It's like hundreds of drinks that are clearly yellow, and then this one's orange.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, Christian's. So, and also, she puts the, like, the breeding rune under his bed.
Yeah.
And all this type of shit, so he's been chosen.
Yeah. And also, we also didn't mention, at this point, Connie and Simon are both missing. We had to freak out about them.
Oh, yeah.
He left without her.
Yeah. So they both decided after the old people thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck this, we're leaving. And then they were not allowed to leave.
Yeah.
But
as we find out.
Unbeknownst to the rest of the group.
Yeah. They assumed they'd leave. But it was under strange circumstances.
Very
Simon
strange.
left without Connie, and then Connie just disappeared. And we also hear that scream. Her scream.
Oh, when was that?
You hear a scream, and everyone's like, they all just look. It gives you, like, different shot, like a different reaction shot from everybody in different. So we only assume it's her. It sounded like a female scream. So, and I like that line because it's very tense here because, you know, a lot's going on. The guy's pissed off at Mark. Josh just found out about the Bible, and then he wants to ask Christian about if he found out anything. And then there's a tension between them. And then Danny's kind of freaking out about what was going on with Simon and Connie. And then Christian kind of like downplaying that. And she's like, oh, I could see you possibly leaving without me. She says that down. I was like, down. So there's a lot going on there. Very tense. Very tense.
Very tense. And I really like the aspect of how the older guy of the older Swedish guy kind of explains away everything very neatly about Connie and what's his name?
Yeah, he's like, the truck came back and they took her to the train. And...
Yeah, and he's like, oh well, they would miss the train if they waited to tell you, so they just went now and they're coming back and you'll make the train and.
Yeah.
Spooky.
In your mind, did you think they're dead?
Oh yeah.
Well, you were correct.
Oh yeah.
Kind of. Because Simon's still alive at the end.
Is he?
When he's hanging, at least.
Is he alive?
Yeah.
Oh.
Confirmed by the script. You see his organs moving, it's his lungs.
Oh, yeah. When I saw that, I was like, what the fuck am I looking at here? But I guess they had him kind of splayed out like an animal.
Yeah. That's fucking terrible.
Oh, yeah.
He was probably there for, over a day?
Oh, yeah.
That's horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
The fact that his body just didn't give up is crazy. You know what I mean?
Fucking horrible.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And that's real. That's like some,
pagan shit.
Yeah. Scary.
Nasty.
I wonder, what's going on in the mind of Simon there? Is your mind even functioning at that point?
He's thinking no.
Is your mind even functioning then? I'm genuinely curious.
You know, earlier in the movie when Danny's she calls Christian and he answers and she's like, no.
Yeah.
That's what's going on in his head. That's what's going on in his head.
That's what's going on in Christian's head at the end when he's paralyzed.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's fucked. But okay. So, let's keep on trucking.
So, yeah, a lot going on there.
Let's keep on trucking. That is a stacked portion.
Yeah, and then they take away Mark. They don't see him again. And then later that night, Josh sneaks away to go take pictures of the Bible.
Yeah, he wants to take pictures of the Bible.
And he sees a figure walking, a shadowy figure who he assumes is Mark.
With his cock out.
But it's not. It's someone wearing his fucking skin.
Which I kind of... I texted this to you. I thought that was pretty goofy. I guess they're talented skinstresses, whatever that is. But wearing someone's face is never... I'm like, does that work? Does it work like that? I don't know.
I've never tried skinning someone.
I never tried skinning someone. I never tried wearing their face, but I can only imagine that does not work out that way. But
perhaps you're correct.
I don't know.
And they do have a dick out. So I assume it was that guy. Is the guy who's like, put your disgusting dick away.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when they put him in the thing to burn later, he's wearing the jester hat. Yeah. Which we didn't mention the kids.
The fool.
The kids were playing Skin the Fool.
Yeah.
Which I guess is like a babyier version of what they do to fools.
I don't know.
Because I would assume they're not actually skinning people or they would have noticed.
Yeah.
Like the group to towards people.
Yeah.
So I guess they're doing
they were playing a game. Yeah.
So I guess they're doing like a baby version of actually skinning someone and wearing their skin.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder what that entails.
Game for children to play.
I wonder what that entails.
Also a classic kind of a horror character trope. The Fool, of course. Ever seen Cabin in the Woods? That comes into play a little bit.
What a movie.
Yeah. Anyways, and then Josh gets knocked the fuck out for...
So, I think I mentioned earlier...
Doing what he's not supposed to and taking pictures of their fucking sacred text.
The transition in the movie, that didn't make me jump, but it got my attention, pretty hard. Mm-hmm. This made me jump.
Yeah, Mallet comes swinging at his fucking head.
Damn.
The way he dies is, it's very... That feels real, too. The way he's, shaking and making,
Yeah, his, arms twitching.
Yeah. That feels very real.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And he's dragged away.
So, yeah, he gets done in. And,
curiosity killed the cat. That's what they say.
I suppose. Yeah. So, I was wondering, there... Like I said, the kind of the lore... And also kind of the conceits of the movie fall apart a little bit towards the end for me. I don't think it's bad or nothing like that. But it's what was going to happen to this guy if he didn't do that?
Would he have died anyways?
Yeah.
Good question. Good question. I do want to
And
know
also,
myself.
if what's his name didn't piss on the tree, like what was gonna happen to them if they didn't?
Yeah, good question.
I assume they would have had to either join them or die.
Yeah.
But also maybe not, because it's not like there were any black people there that were just part of their community.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like they were all just straight Swedish. So I feel like when they bring people in, they have to be like white, blonde, whatever. Or they have to be sacrificed.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, they had to have at least 4 of the, what they call it, new blood killed. At least 4.
Yeah.
So no matter what, they were going to die, I assume.
I guess.
Yeah. But it's like, even though it's like, yeah, it's like, oh, what's that going to happen anyways? This is for me at least, I start seeing their deaths or what they represent as characters as a little bit more allegorical.
Yeah.
I was going to save this for the end, kind of, but I feel like, I guess we can just mention it now, because fuck it, who cares? But, like, Christian, obviously, Mark, and then, Josh, it's like, their downfalls are all kind of like products of the society they live in, I think. I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, it makes sense to me because, like, Josh is a little, arrogant.
Yeah.
Christian is a little, apathetic.
Yeah.
And then, what's his name? Will
Mark.
Poulter.
Mark. Yeah.
Mark is ignorant.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And they're all kind of selfish in their own way.
Oh, yeah.
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 Whereas it's like, oh, this society is supposed to be like very
communal.
Yeah, communal. So, that's where it's like, yeah. So it's like, oh, was it gonna happen either way? But then I can kind of just like suspend my disbelief because then it's like I read it more in an allegorical
for the
way.
sake of
the
story
of the film. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. But it has a bit
But
of
I
a
understand what
disconnect.
you're saying too. Yeah.
Yeah, it just has a bit of a disconnect for me for the sake of like, where was this going? But it can also, there's an element of this culture was dealing with them on an individual basis. Like, it's not like maybe they all didn't have to die. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. But I feel like they do, because at the end they say like, "Oh, we need 4 new bloods to be sacrificed."
But then
4 of our culture, and then 1 is chosen.
Then they have 4, because the group of the 3 boys and then the girl and the boy, so that's 5.
Well, Christian is the 9th one. They have the 4 new bloods that are that get killed off are Josh, Mark, Connie, and Simon, and then they have 4 of the.
Oh, so he doesn't count.
Yeah, because he's the one that's chosen by
he's
Danny
the 9th
at the
one.
end. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. That makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels a little weird, but.
No, I understand. Yeah.
It's not like a super negative, but it's just, I don't know. It's a little.
Yeah, I'm just saying, for the sake of the themes and like I said, the storytelling, I can suspend my disbelief for that.
Yeah, sure. Because it's not like they're all like. It's kind of like they're given like a double reason for dying.
Yeah.
So I kind of don't like. My least favorite part of the movie is probably that explanation at the ending. I think maybe that should have been left a bit more vague. Because they do like.
Yeah, because then if it was more vague, then you wouldn't even have the questions at all.
Yeah. Because it's like you're having this ceremony where you kill the.
But then
guy.
also, if you get rid of that, then it's like. Then it leaves more questions about Pele though. Like, oh, did he bring? Because that kind of hard confirms that Pele brought them there
to die.
Yeah. Which I feel like you kind of needed. Maybe you didn't. But.
I think what happens with Pele, I think you could have just had him do what he does. But the explanation, I mostly just mean when the woman is explaining.
Yeah.
So I think Pele still could have had what happens to him without. Because it could have been a general implication that like they were brought here to be sacrificed, but maybe leave it. We didn't need numbers, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't need numbers of like 4, 4, and 4, and
because you feel like, oh, he brought some people here to die. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. I can agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's the weakest part to me is I didn't need the numbers specifically.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I can agree with that.
Because it feels like they're explaining themselves in terms of their culture, but then there's also like a double explanation of like, here's what they did wrong to die.
Yeah.
But it's like they didn't do anything wrong. They were already going to die.
Well, what they did wrong, I don't see that as like part of the actual story. I take that more away in like a thematic way.
No, I know what you mean.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm just saying, I think they kind of double dip in that way. That's kind of where the disconnect is for me. Yeah. So I think a lot of that
I can understand that. Yeah.
A lot of that could have been solved with like the rules being not tweaked there or like different or more.
You ain't wrong.
More subtle. Anyways.
You ain't wrong.
Anyways, Evan.
Because I've had that question myself. So yeah, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. So yeah, shit's really hitting the fan now.
It's getting nutty.
Yeah.
And then
and Christian he's a complete dick. He hasn't been worried about where his friends are at all. And they say the next day like, I'm curious about this also. They say like, the book was stolen. Was it actually? I guess not. But
no, I think that was just like
to explain away why he disappeared.
Yeah. They wanted to imply that he ran off with the book.
Yeah.
You know. So I actually thought that was clever.
Yeah. And Josh was like, I'm not Josh. Christian was like, no, we have nothing to do with him. He's not our friend.
Yeah, and he turns on him immediately. He's like, I would hate to even like think that I'm associated with him. Like I don't like claim him at all.
That's fucked.
That is super fucked.
And Pele's like, I'll try and find them. Oh, Pele, you sly bastard. Yeah. And when is it where Pele, he really comes on to Danny? Is that this day?
It might be like that night. Yeah.
No, it's not the night, because they had the whole the May Queen thing that day, and then the night. So I don't know. At some point, but
the day where I think the day was that the same day, the May Queen thing.
Yeah, it's when this is happening. Yeah.
Oh.
The day after they all fucking die. But anyways, at some point though, Danny's like crying about whatever's going on with her and Christian. She's alone. And Pele, he comes in, tries to make he doesn't try and make a move, but he's like...
He really doesn't. Like, he's consistent. This dude's about the mission. Like, that other guy got distracted by the dussy.
The poontang.
Yeah, but fucking... This dude's like...
The poontang.
He's like, we will love and care about you. Like, he's really not like, let me fuck. But he's like, do you feel at home with Christian? Like, implying, like, you could feel at home here. Yeah. Not really with him. So it's like, this dude's about the mission.
He is. Know? Oh, yeah, she's freaking out because of the ceremonies or whatever, and obviously, it's like everything, and she's like, just there alone, she's like, I gotta go, and yeah, he's telling her, like, no, I was so happy you came here, I wanted you, like, we had this similar experience where we lost somebody, but here it feels like home. He's playing with her, but he gets, a little touchy. He's like, puts his
when he gets touchy, that's when he mentions Christian specifically.
Yeah, he's like,
do you feel at home with Christian?
Yeah, he puts his hand on her hand. And she's like, Pele Christian might walk in.
Intrigue.
Yeah, intrigue. Oh, a bit spicy. He wants her.
My word.
And I feel like she at this point maybe she is starting to kind of because she doesn't like push his hand away and be like what the fuck or anything. You know what I mean? She's just kind of like Christian might walk in. You know what I mean? So she's not like totally like flat out rejecting him. Yeah, yeah. So, ooh.
You see it, maybe she starts to little cogs turn in her brain.
Yeah, exactly. And it's weird, like you said. In that way, it's like he does do a very good job of like grooming her.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. That's what's like coolest and like creepiest to me about Pele.
Yeah,
is like he's not a pervert.
Yeah,
like he's
about the.
He's about the mission.
That's where his friend. That was funny. That's where his friend fucked up.
For real.
But yeah. So that was a thing, and that happened. But yeah, that was supposed to be just more to the communal thing. Oh yeah. He's like, this like I never felt alone after my parents died, and he says my parents died in a fire. So I'm guessing they were like two of the
sacrifices.
Yeah. Would you agree?
That would make sense, for sure.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
We never got hard confirmation.
For some reason, when he said that, I assumed, like, his parents weren't in the thing.
What do you mean?
Because it kind of felt like, to me, like he was saying, like, I was taken in by this community.
Oh.
But I could be wrong.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Maybe he was just playing.
I think they were probably sacrificed. Like, the fact that they specifically died in a fire, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
But maybe not. Who knows?
Ari Aster knows.
Yeah. I've seen crazy theories like, this I definitely don't buy into at all. But I've seen like theories that like Pele killed Danny's family.
That's stupid.
I've seen it. Yeah, it's like that. I don't think that is true at all.
That's stupid.
I'm glad you agree.
Yeah.
And they say like, well, there's like, this is just foreshadowing in my opinion, but I think somebody used this as proof evidence on their, you know, they have the picture of her on their like countertop or whatever where their parents are sleeping, and they also have flowers there, and the flowers are like above her head. Oh. It's like foreshadowing for like the May Queen thing later.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying like, oh, he put them there. No,
for whose benefit?
Yeah.
for whose benefit did Pele put that there? No, that's stupid.
But yeah, I just want to mention that. Yeah.
That is funny though. Mm-hmm. I can see why a fucking baby-brained idiot would think that, but it's really just like a charismatic guy like taking advantage of a situation.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
So.
As cults are known to do.
As cults are known to do.
Yeah.
They prey on the.
Which is interesting because I feel like this movie. It's like, I don't know if it's fully condoning, like, I feel like there's aspects of it, it's condoning, but at the same time, not necessarily.
Condoning what?
Like,
cults?
This group. Not cults, just like this group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's like, it seems to be like in favor of like, you know, like, community over individualism.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like...
The community's evil.
Well, yeah, that, but also like, you know, taking advantage of like people who are...
Oh, taking advantage of the person that you're trying to get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like... I don't know, there's a lot going on there. It's like... Is this a plus or... Is it a thumbs up or a thumb down on this call?
Now, Evan, I am personally, me... I'm a death of the author person, you know, when I can be.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, you can't help but take into account the intent of the author, Evan.
Oh, of course.
But, from what Ari Aster says about the movie, I think the entire movie is more... I don't think the cult is supposed to be evil. I think it's supposed to be kind of allegorical.
No, I agree, yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to come away from this, like, mixed... I mean, you know, I think Ari Aster has actually said this too, where he's like, I want you to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, if fucking Pele killed her parents, like, he did. Like, whatever you want. But
I like that. To just interpret it how I
respect that.
Yeah.
For sure. But I think maybe when he was making it, I think, because he's spoken about, obviously, it's a breakup movie.
Yeah.
Kind of. So I think it's like cathartic for him, where he's like, fuck my ex, burn them alive, and I'll be with, you know, whatever the communal represents to him. Yeah. And the fact that there's like horror aspects in the commune, I think that's just like a stylistic thing. Yeah. So
no, for the most part, I agree. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was just like, but there's also like the fact that, you know, they are known to take advantage of people who aren't in a good place.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, I just thought I would raise the question.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
It is interesting.
But anyway, where did we leave off as far as the story goes?
Well, we touched on a few things towards the end there, but I guess we can pick back up with Christian.
Yeah. So he's like, no, we have nothing to do with Josh or whatever. And they also mention that Mark is missing. And at that point, it's like, they're like, the old dude, he's like, well, Danny, you had to go with the female for the day. And Mark, Mark, I keep mixing their names up. Christian, the other lady wants to talk to you in that house. And he seems like, oh shit, like, he's about to be like,
he's in trouble.
Yeah, he's like about to be interrogated.
Yeah, he thinks it's like a cop interrogation.
But no, he goes in there and they're just like, oh, how do you feel about Maya?
Yeah, well,
which is Pele's sister.
I like how he goes in and he's like, I swear to God, I don't... He says, like, this dude is such a cunt, like... He says, I swear on my mother, I don't know. Like, dude, really? You don't swear on your life, you swear on your mother?
Did he say that? I swear on my mother?
I remember that, yes.
Damn.
I would never swear on my mother.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, if you do that, don't do that.
Yeah.
Anyways. But yeah, he says, I swear on my mother, I don't know. And then she's like, do you want to fuck?
Pretty much. It's funny, she tells him, like, no, we're not talking about... Because he's like, oh, I have a girlfriend. Like, I can't do that. And, you know... He's like, oh, we're not talking. She's like, we're not talking about marriage. She said you're not. She said you're not suited for that.
I don't think that's in it in mine.
Did you really?
I don't think that's in the theatrical one because I'm pretty sure after she asked the question, after she says, what's her name? The girl he fucks?
Maya.
He says, because he's like, oh, like, I don't know, I swear. And he's like, oh, like, but how do you feel about Maya? And then it cuts.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Oh, that's surprising. Yeah, it goes on for like a minute, like a few more minutes longer. I'm looking at where the differences are. By the way, just looking, this is like the biggest thing that was missing from the theatrical cut, which is that ritual and then their argument. I just want to show you that.
Oh, the kid one.
Yeah. Let's see. In the house. The conversation, the medium shot is long. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, so she's like, oh, it wouldn't be a wedding. He's like, you're just here to get her pregnant, basically. And he is what am I saying? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, is there a way I can like? I don't know if this is in the theatrical cut. She's like, and it will be good for your studies too. Like you'll get
no, because there's no conversation.
Okay, so not at all.
You get the like, it's basically like he's worried about this being about what's his name?
Mark or Josh.
Yeah, he's worried about this being about Josh. He's like, I have nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
and then she's like, how do you feel about what are Maya?
And then
he looks a bit,
and he mentions eating. I think I ate one of her pubes, and then it cuts. Right?
Yes,
okay.
That's right.
I'm seeing now. Yeah.
Yes. And then he seems
completely different. Yeah.
He seems like he does seem like conflicted or concerned, and then it just cuts.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it goes on a little bit longer in the director cut, because she tells him like, oh, you were chosen before you even came here by her, and he says that Pele gave her a picture, and that they're astrological signs are compatible, so it gives you a little bit more about their whatever, I guess, too.
Yeah.
And she says, yeah, like you're just here to make you're not suitable for marriage. But she says, but you it's just to fuck. And he's like, oh, I'm here with somebody, I can't do that. And she's like, it'll be good for your research also. And she's like, you'll be like, get a rare look at our mating process. And he's like, is there any way I can see it without having to do without it participating? And then it like cuts around that part. I will say this, so because we're getting into the Christian thing, because we did mention this earlier. Here though, he doesn't completely flat out reject the idea. I'll say that, yeah. But what happened to him though, it's like he kind of gets raped.
For me, I think this makes it, the cut aspects we just discussed, that makes it a little more ambiguous, a little more.
Yeah.
But you can't drug someone.
Yeah.
And fuck them.
Yeah. No, I would say he was raped, I think.
Yeah. So
that was fucked.
That ain't right. That ain't right.
But before that, he doesn't exactly flat out say no, but he does say, I'm here with somebody, and can I
and he does try to deny the mushroom drink.
Yeah.
He tries to.
Yeah, he does. You ain't wrong. And then they're doing it goes to Danny's end, and they're doing the May Queen thing. And they take the fucking mushroom drink before that.
They sure do.
She said, what is this? And she's like, oh, it's herbs. It's a herbal tea or whatever.
She says, you drinky.
Yeah, you drinky. And she was like, if I ever drank something and then the first thing they say to me is, oh, here we go, I'll be like, oh, fuck.
Not because she says it's spring water with special properties.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, we know what it is. Like,
it's drugs.
You're tripping.
But yeah, they drink the shrooms and they start doing their dancing competition or whatever, which is interesting. I guess it's like a bunch of chicks drugged out of their mind and see who can last the longest.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's what they say is, because you don't know. They mentioned the May Queen and like the dance competition, but you don't know it's like a stamina thing.
Yeah,
because they're like, whoever lasts the longest will be rewarded for their stamina.
Yeah,
so you don't know that until the end of the movie when it starts happening.
Yeah, so they all start dancing, And Christian's like conflicted, I guess, up until that point. And then he goes in to start watching the celebration or their competition. And there's some good imagery here because everyone's all wearing the white. And they're all like, they're doing the hand thing watching. And when Danny's looking, she's high out of her mind. She sees Christian. And he's not even paying attention to what's going on. Like, you would think, like, oh, my partner would be there, like, cheering for me. You know what I mean? He's just, like, not even paying attention. And he's in the gray and the jeans, and everyone else is, like, wearing white. So some good imagery there. Right? Yeah. He's not one of them.
And it's also, that stood out to me, the fact of him in, like, civilian clothes. That stood out to me more at, like, the table.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because that's after she wins the competition. Oh, but I do want to mention, there's, it's interesting, we get the part where she starts speaking Swedish.
Yeah. That was really good.
Yeah, so it's like she's like balls high out of her mind. And they start really speaking to her in Swedish. She's like, I can't speak Swedish. And they're like, yeah, you can. And then she starts speaking Swedish and we get the subtitles.
I love that.
So yeah, that was interesting.
And then that, I also liked, because for me, this might sound a bit silly, but for stuff like this where they're like, that type of shit where they're like, oh, leave your hand on the car and you win the car, or like stuff like this where it's like, dance as long as you can. It's like, what does people tapping out of that look like? It's hard for me to imagine, but I think it was done well here.
Yeah, like
because they're just like distracted, they're getting tired, and they just like the other two bump
into each other
while they're all speaking Swedish. And it's interesting too because it's like there's this weird, inexplicable, like almost supernatural thing where she's speaking Swedish to them.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they're all kind of like tired and confused and like happy. They bump into each other, fall.
Yeah.
And then she wins. So I like the way that was played out.
I agree.
Yeah.
And everyone starts cheering for her, and of course Christian is like, at that point he's drugged out of his mind because he takes the drink.
Oh yeah.
He sees Maya because she falls out, and then when she's in the competition initially, she's like staring at him, and they give him the drink, and at first he says no, then he takes it. I feel like he kind of knew though, like, oh, what's gonna happen after I drink this? That's not to imply like, what happened to him isn't fucked up. No. But he is looking, and the way he's like, kind of like, fuck, I shouldn't do this, but he takes the drink.
He's kind of like, fuck it.
Yeah.
But here's my ultimate defense of Christian. Okay. Do I think he's a good guy? No.
No,
okay.
Of course not.
But my ultimate defense of Christian is, like, all the foreigners are dying. It's like, do you not, like, you kind of have to do what they say.
Yeah.
No,
no matter what happens, it's not right to take advantage of drugged people in any situation.
Ultimately, he was a bad significant other. Burn him alive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course. Of course.
I'm
just kind of reading what may be going on in his mind because we don't get like hard. He's not like, oh damn, I want to. He's not like, I want to fuck. He's like, so bad. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. All you really get is like face acting and stuff like that, and you can only kind of interpret what's going on. So I feel
I think is throughout the movie is well done.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know, like, I had no knowledge of that scene, but I almost felt like he was gonna say, "I'm here with somebody."
Yeah.
And he does.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like it was in his face where he was like obviously he's a piece of shit and he's like, huh, but he's also like, oh, I'm here with somebody. Yeah. I don't know. I could kind of read that in his face before that scene ended.
Yeah.
So I thought that, that type of stuff is really good in the movie.
So
But yeah, he takes the drink and he follows her to the.
I feel like maybe he did kind of want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what the how of it is not great.
Yeah.
Because he's like freaking the fuck out.
There's one thing I want to mention.
Yeah.
In comparison to the strange thing about the Johnsons, this movie and that movie, there are people that their dicks are like, they get so hard, I guess, like so easy,
Why do you say that?
Like, I don't know, if I was in a room with like a bunch of naked tribal women and I had to fuck like a virgin on the ground, don't know if I could stay hard for that.
But they give him the thing, remember, for your vitality.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Okay, you're right.
And your vitality. It's
you're
your
right.
Boner.
big boner. And then the Johnsons movie, some weird stuff going on.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, check that out as well. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I
guess Ari Aster's like his dick is just like works super good. I don't know.
Yeah, so she went to celebration. Christian's drugged out of his mind, not really paying attention to her. Everyone's happy for her, and Pele gives her a big, big kiss on the lips.
That was crazy.
That was crazy.
So when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's crazy.
He says, congratulations, Danny. He says, big kiss on the lips. This dude. I'm like, bro, you couldn't wait till he was dead to do that.
It's come on. Well, no, he couldn't. Because he was going to die too.
Pele?
Yeah.
Pele doesn't die.
Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Doesn't he?
No.
No? Yeah, he does.
No, Ingmar dies. And the guy who was pissed at Mark died.
Really?
Yeah. Pele doesn't die.
Oh, man. I think the movie would be better if it was Pele.
I don't know if I agree.
Huh. Well, let's get
into it. Now she has Pele as her sweet new boyfriend.
No, I don't like that. I don't like that.
No, Pele does not die, no.
Oh, I think the movie would be better if he did.
I wonder, why did you think he died?
Because I thought it was him.
In the fire?
Yeah.
No. It was him and...
I was like, oh, he looks different. But I thought it was him.
No, he lives. I was actually wondering, did you think that? Because earlier you kept saying, about Pele's fate. And I was like, do you mean like them being like, congratulations, Pele, thank you for bringing all.
Yeah, because then you kind of mentioned like, oh, they could be together. And I was like, you didn't watch the movie right, Evan. No, but I...
No, Pele lives.
I honestly, honest to God, I think the movie would be better.
And also he's freaking out at the end. You see him when they light the shit on fire.
Do you?
Yeah. Because they give him like the other crown, like the one made of leaves.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you should have let me write notes for this film, Audie, because I have an idea.
Yeah, he lives.
But I will get into why I would like that idea. But let's finish up here on the...
Yeah, she wins. They celebrate.
I don't know if anything significant really happens at the dinner.
They eat the dinner. I really like... You see, like, it looks like there's two different flowers on her crown that look like they're, like, breathing. Because she's high, but it's, like, they're, like, moving up and down. It looks like they're breathing. I like that.
Yeah.
The visual was interesting. And, yeah, the dinner, it's kind of like before, where it's, like, they're all waiting for her to start now. And she starts eating. There's a cute little moment with the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I like it is because it's, like, now it's, like, she's become one of them. And they treat her like, it's, like family or something when they try, feed her the fish.
Yeah, because they don't do that in the whole movie where there's like...
They're super nice to any of the outsiders.
Yeah, because, they're not... It's not like super nice to try and do that to somebody.
I just mean it's like a cute... Yeah,
they're playing
exactly.
that with them like it would be your brother or sister.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then when she, like, drops on the floor, they just all start laughing. Because at first they all get silent, so you think it's like, what the fuck? Like, it can be something fucked up, her not eating it, but then they all just start laughing. So it's like, oh... They like her.
Yeah, I like that there's an element of normalcy to them.
Yeah.
Because they do fucked up stuff, obviously, and they have weird-ass religion.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, the kids are watching Austin Powers.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
to mention we didn't mention that.
And also, this is only a 9-day festival, so, they have the other fucking however many days of the year.
Well, we don't know if that's normal.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it could be... That's my point, is, like, the rest of their year, they could be pretty normal.
Presumably.
Yeah. We don't know for sure, obviously, but
I would not trust that, but could be,
And yeah, Christian's just drugged out of his mind. I like when he's like, what? I forgot what he says to the guy next to him when he claps in his face.
Yeah, he says like, "What's happening?"
Yeah, he said, "What's happening?"
And then
he's like scared as
fuck. And
fuck.
he claps in his face. And he's like, "Why did you do that?"
Yeah.
There's a lot of good, like, also like facial distortion.
Yeah.
In the movie,
I agree when they're high.
When people are high, yeah. Because I think maybe it was the first time they were high, like, in the village, and you see, like, the crowd, and they're, like, like, weird people's, like, eyes are really small, like, one eye is really small, and shit like that. Yeah, that's really cool.
I agree.
And the effects, well, they're very seamless.
Yeah.
For the most part, It's very well done.
So, yeah, they take Danny in the ride, or whatever, and Christian can't come, despite her asking.
They put her in their weird little Cinderella thing.
Yeah. And take her off. And then Christian, they have a different plan for him. They lead him with the flowers into that other house thing.
Interesting.
They give him the smoke for his vitality.
Oh, they sure do.
And all the naked ladies are there. And Maya's laying there right there.
They should have all been hot. Why were they not all? They should have all been hot, right?
And she gets her legs open, ready for Christian to fuck.
Oh yeah.
And he's drugged out of his mind, and he goes in, and he does his thing.
Can I reveal something terrible?
Yeah.
Well, is there anything you want to say about that scene?
It's funny. It's like it's not a romantic thing. It's like it's just mating. So, like they say in the longer version, she's like, "No, you're not. It's not for marriage." He tried to like grab her. She like reaches out and he like tried to grab her hand, but she wasn't reaching out for like him to grab her hand. She wanted the other lady to come comfort her.
Yeah, I thought it was like her mom.
Yeah, no, it's not. I don't think. Well, no, because she Pele's sister and their parents are dead. So
right.
Yeah,
you're right. But in the theatrical version, it still plays out like interesting.
Yeah. It's like she wanted her to reach out and they all like start singing.
Well,
and like moaning and like,
in the theatrical version, the way he reacts to her grabbing her hand is really funny.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's the same here.
Is it the same?
Yeah.
He doesn't go to grab her hand though.
Oh, he didn't?
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
No, he just kind of like I think.
Well, I'm wondering how you would even cut that out because he puts it there and then the lady comes and like kind of pushes it away. So I'm like, I don't know how you would cut that out.
I didn't see that.
Oh, I don't know how you would cut that out.
Maybe it's just a different take.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. But yeah, she like puts. If I remember right, the lady puts her hand out first, and then the girl getting fucked like puts her hand up and grabs her hand.
That's not what happened.
And then Christian is like, "What the fuck?" He kind of,
He does react like in a similar way though. Yeah.
Okay.
And then when they all start like, oh no, he reacts like weird when she starts singing.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck. And then they all start like doing the.
That's so good.
Emotion, like you said, it's like they share the like emotions, like you said, and then here they all like start moaning, in like in a rhythmic way.
Yeah. With her moaning.
Yeah.
It's badass.
Yeah. So that's how
it's definitely, I don't know, I just wanted to praise that because it's like something I've never seen before.
Yeah.
And it's like perfectly
executed.
Perfectly executed. Yeah. No. It's perfectly like integrated into the
themes.
Into the themes of the movie.
Yeah, I agree.
And it feels like really organic and it's something I've never seen before.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's really cool.
I agree.
Yeah. And like we said, they do it in the sex scene and also when people are like fucking screaming in pain and stuff, so.
And they tell him, finish, don't pull out.
Yeah, and the old lady's behind him, like, pushing him into her. It's badass.
Yeah, she puts her legs up and says, I feel the baby.
Sure does.
Yeah, she felt the baby.
And,
that reminded me of The Big Lebowski.
I think that about what?
Because Julianne Moore's character does that after she fucks a dude.
Really?
Yeah. Is that a spoiler? Sorry.
That's funny.
Yeah.
No, I've seen it.
Oh, you have seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember? Because she's pregnant at the end of the movie. But remember after they have sex, she puts her legs up so she can get pregnant?
Yeah, that's like a thing, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to mention. That's like a thing, I guess.
Yeah.
That like helps with, what's the word? Insemination?
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Badass.
Yeah, badass.
Badass. Anyways, yeah, I like the setup for the bear, too. Because when they're given the tour early in the movie, you see the bear. And, it does. Pele. Is it Pele giving the tour?
No, it was Ingmar.
Simon
and Connie.
Yeah, so the way he brushes off the questions about the bear, it's like that warrants a question.
Yeah.
Not just because it's a bear, but because it's in such a small cage.
Yeah.
Because that to me implies that you're going to slaughter the bear.
Yeah.
Which they do.
Yeah.
But it's like, this isn't like a mascot or like something that you treasure. Like, you're going to kill this, you know?
He's like, it's a bear.
It's a bear. He's like, what is it? It's a bear.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's a good setup where it kind of like, it doesn't spell it out for you, but I think it kind of implies the purpose of the bear.
Yeah. So. And Danny doing her celebration, where they took a ride and she does her little ceremony thing with where she's singing with them or whatever.
It was badass.
And they come back. They're going to celebrate with the girls. Oh, girls night.
Girls'
right?
night.
Girls'
Okay,
night.
Girlies.
But she hears something. Oh, in the distance.
What does she hear?
She hears something.
I don't know what
and
she
they
hears.
say, and she said, what's in there? And the other lady's like, that's not for us. That's not for us.
This is technically before he comes in her.
Yeah.
Just we're continuing. But yeah,
and she goes in there. She looks in the keyhole. Oh, what does she see? She sees Christian fucking. And throughout the whole movie, she kind of like, I mean, play very subtly, but she's kind of like suspicious of him and that girl.
Yeah.
Like you see like her
because she keeps kind of coming on to him and
and she's looking. It's never brought up like explicitly though. And then so she knew what was happening.
Well, the way it's framed, can you even tell who's fucking? I don't know. Who's fucking?
Maybe not, but
either way.
Yeah.
In general, she was kind of like worried about that.
Yeah.
And,
that's what happens.
And she turns around and she pukes on the ground.
She does puke.
And
she cries and shits and vomits, and they all cry, shit, and vomit together. No, but yeah, like you're saying, now it's like, it's a good juxtaposition, because it's like, oh, the moaning, and then now it's like the crying, and they're all start crying with her.
And it's been a long time since I've seen a movie, or anything really, where someone pukes out of shock.
Yeah.
So that was
cool. I was actually thinking about that, too. I was wondering, like, was it just, were the drugs a part of that? Was she just shocked and vomited? You know what I mean?
I think an element of it is, like actual. Well, you know how hard she tries to keep him.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, for him to like just betray her. You know,
I
think I don't know if it was really the drugs. I think that could add to you being queasy, obviously, but I think it was like genuinely puke out of shock.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is awesome.
I was thinking about that too.
You don't see that enough.
Yeah, you don't really.
I like puke out of shock.
Yeah. I guess it's real. I don't know. I've never done that, but it might be real.
Well, it's a thing. I mean, people talk about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never done it, but...
Me either.
Yeah.
I don't puke very often.
No.
I haven't puked in a long time, actually.
I puke every day.
Really?
No.
Oh. Yeah. I'm like Ted Mosby, vomit-free since whatever year it was.
Since 03.
I remember the last time I puked. It was really bad.
It's 93.
Well,
for you, it would be 03.
Yeah. No, it wasn't 03. It was like in high school.
13.
No.
Vomit free since 13.
But anyways.
Anywho. So yeah, and then like we discussed, Christian jizz inside her.
Yeah, and then he runs out. He's like shocked.
Then he's in a bit of a stupor.
He's in a bit of a stupor.
And he lumbers out, and he's his big red cock is hanging out, and he he's trying to figure out. He's trying to get his bearings.
Yeah.
And he's trying to figure out like, okay, what the fuck is going on? Where do I go? And he goes to the bunk area, and then he hears like the screaming and crying.
Yeah.
And he kind of turns around, and he can't find a place to go, and so he tries to go somewhere remote, goes into a shed.
Yeah.
And then that's where, what's his name?
Simon?
Yeah,
it's like hanging upside down.
Simon is like butchered and like hanging alive.
Yeah, yeah.
He
had flowers in his damn eyes. That's
fucked
fucked
sure
up.
Did.
Man can't even look. That's fucked up.
You can't even let him look?
No.
Do you want to look?
I feel like that makes the suffering even worse. I'm just like, all I have is my mind. You know what I mean?
God, yeah. Like torture, but in a deprivation.
Yeah.
Tank. Yeah.
That's terrible.
Thank you, weird Swedish people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would you go in a deprivation tank?
Nah.
I don't know. Maybe I would.
They say you get high after a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or not high, but like you start seeing stuff.
Remember when it was in Cobra Kai? She saw some stuff.
Oh, well, she saw some stupid stuff.
She was in the deprivation tank.
But yeah, they say you start hearing stuff and seeing stuff after a while.
Yeah. Let's see. Damn. I'm just looking at the differences. Anyways. Yeah, and then they find Christian, one of the Horga, and they blow the fucking smoke in his face. It's like a powder.
Yeah.
His face is really funny. He's like... and he runs down, passes the fuck out. And this is scary. Of course, he wakes up paralyzed. This is scary. Imagine hearing that. It's like, Christian, wake up. You can't even move your eyes. And then she opens it for him. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of like the full circle moment, or you find out what's been happening.
Yeah, she says, Christian, you won't be able to move or speak.
Yeah.
She says, okay.
That's scary. You can't even blink. Just your eyes are just like...
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That they have some good shit back
they do.
there. I don't know what they do, but...
That's scary.
Damn, that is scary.
Good
for the month of Halloween, I guess.
Yeah, good for the month of Halloween. Yeah, so... We kind of mentioned this earlier, but yeah, so we find out what was going on, the whole deal. They brought 4 new bloods to be sacrificed. 4 of the Harga are going to be sacrificed. 2 have already been. It was the old people. And
That's a cop-out. You know? It's like, oh, we're going to kill 4 of our people. Like, And it's the people you were already gonna kill because they're
yeah.
old.
Yeah.
Come on, son.
They cheat a little bit. They cheat a little bit.
They do a little bit of cheating.
Yeah.
But anyways.
And 2 were volunteers, Ingmar and the other guy who picked off.
And Pele?
Not Pele. Nah. Pele lives.
That's my interpretation.
They say, "Oh, thank you, Pele, for your fucking your judgment." They say something like that, like your judgment.
Yeah.
And bringing you brought our Maid Queen and you brought some sacrifices, and he's wearing like that. They gave him like that crown, which is like the one made of leaves.
Right.
I assume to go with hers. I don't know.
Yeah, that's like the king one or something.
And they roll like the fucking. It's not a dice. I just say roll the dice. They pick at like a ball who the last sacrifice will be, and they have all their names, and they choose one of the Horga, and the Maid Queen gets to decide who dies, Christian or one of the Horga.
So this is one of the few. I've mentioned a few things I take issue with in the movie. I think this is a pretty cheap way to give her agency.
Why do you say that?
Because it just feels like all of the rules at the end of the movie feel very...
Oh, it's like what you were mentioning earlier.
Very convenient at the end there. And I feel like it's a pretty lazy way to give her agency at the end.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's not terrible. Yeah. I think it serves its purpose. Like you said, it's like some things you can suspend your disbelief for the sake of the story.
No, you're not wrong.
But sure, I think that's a little... Yeah. It's a little weak.
Of course, like, in the allegorical sense, it's her completely cutting off her tie with her past life or whatever, and then embracing the Horga. So she chooses him, they put him in the bear, and they all burn up alive in the fucking temple. They do put him in the bear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they burn. And you see Mark and Josh.
So, those are crazy.
Yeah, they've been...
Because it's like they have little... It's kind of just their heads and maybe like some internal organs inside the little thing. But they're basically like...
Mark is like completely like a scarecrow.
It's like they're basically like mutilated scarecrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the old people were like too.
Yeah. And I have to mention, because I did watch Harley Quinn, season 3.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize there were 2 more episodes. I thought I had seen the whole thing. So I watched them today, before I watched Midsommar. And, very weird...
Connection?
Like, basically the way they put the old people, like, they put, like, trees in their eyes and stuff, that was, like, in Harley Quinn. In, like, the same way.
That's creepy.
Because there's, like, plant-human hybrid zombies.
Yeah.
And, it's, like, the same thing. So when I saw that, I was like, wait, like, where did I see this?
That's weird.
Yeah, so, I don't know, I just happened to watch them both on the same day. But anyways, fucking disturbed. I don't remember... It might be in both, that there's, like, a tree branch coming out the eye. It might be in both, Harley Quinn and this.
And this is, like, the tree branch are for, like, their arms and their legs. And I think they had, like, flowers or, like, fruit or something on the eyes. And
oh, okay.
Yeah.
But, yeah, either way, crazy, nutty visual.
Yeah, for sure. And Christian's in the bear, and he can't scream or anything. You can't see him react at all, because he's just being burned to death.
He is in the bear.
And then Ingmar and the other guy just fucking... light on fire. It's interesting. One of them goes like peacefully, and the other one's like screaming.
Yeah. Well, before we get into that, one thing.
Yeah. I
want to mention. I lost it. I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Okay, but I was gonna say before they're set on fire.
There's something she says.
They get the yew tree thing. They say, "Eat of the yew tree. You feel no pain. And the other one feel no fear." So it's interesting. The one screaming, he had the one that was feel no pain. So was he screaming from fear, or was it bullshit? I don't know. And then Ingmar seemingly doesn't react at all.
I do want to...
Is he feeling pain?
I do want to get back to this.
Yeah.
In just one moment, because I didn't realize that she said different words.
It was a man. It was a guy.
Or he.
Yeah.
But there's someone that says... There's someone that basically condemns... What's his name? Christian. That's like, this is for, like, your wickedness or some shit. It's like, what?
Does he say that?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Who says that?
I think it was a girl.
Oh, maybe. I don't really remember.
But, yeah, I think, like... I know someone says it to him when they're about to burn him alive.
Yeah.
And I was like, that even further makes it, like, did you know he was evil the whole time? Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Because I think no matter what, this person would have been someone.
Yeah.
Like, was the other option of the village, was he evil too?
Yeah.
Like, did you...
I don't remember that, but...
I don't know. That kind of muddied it even more for me.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, for sure.
Well,
he has to feel the fear and the pain.
He sure does.
Scream because
and
he doesn't get.
He can't exert that at all.
Yeah.
So I'm interested though. I didn't really. I'm not as an astute a viewer as you have.
Oh.
And who could ever be?
Of course.
Less. But yeah, I kind of didn't even realize that she said pain and then fear.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Because I interpreted it, so I thought it was Pele. In there.
No, it's Pele lives.
And I thought. So I didn't think the guy screaming was Pele, because that was the other tour guide, right?
No, the one screaming was the guy who got pissed off about the tree.
Okay, so I assumed the other guy was Pele.
Yeah.
And then one of them was screaming.
Yeah, he's the one who had feel no pain. So it's like, was he screaming because he was scared?
I guess they have like a deeper understanding of emotion, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
I'd be screaming in fear if I was on fire.
One thing I thought that was cool about it though, if it was Pele, is that like the guy is screaming. It kind of calls into question at the end, like what are they doing, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's like a small lapse in their kind of culture.
Yeah.
In their like internal logic. But I guess there's also like just the fact that I thought it was Pele made me think of that. But the fact that they said pain and fear and I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's more something about emotion. But I was thinking about like the screaming as like humanity trying to like seeing some type of humanity through all the pageantry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I interpreted it, but now that you say the other thing,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm like, so it's like I didn't know if it was like bullshit or he was screaming because fear. I don't know.
Yeah, when I heard the screaming, I was like, oh well, these that was like placebo or something.
Yeah,
like that they give him like water on their. But now that I know it's not Pele, it kind of makes me question that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting for sure. And then there's more of the shared emotion thing because it's like they're all like screaming together about.
Yeah, once the guy starts screaming, they all start screaming. Right?
Yeah.
But I guess it's like mind over body type of shit, where it's like pain versus fear. You
Oh
know?
yeah. But it's like they're all like freaking out about everyone being burned up, and the guy's screaming, and they're all doing it together, and Danny's joining them, wearing their big Mayflower costume. I like May Queen costume. I like it, by the way. All the flower. It look cool.
It's funny when she starts running.
Yeah, it is.
She looks like a Jabba the Hutt or something.
Yeah. But I like the costume.
Do I like it? I don't know.
I like it. It looks cool.
It's pretty silly, but
I guess so. But I fuck with it.
The movie's not exactly the least silly thing in the
world. And then the ending. Also, I love the music playing here. The Fire Temple score. That's the name of it. It was really good.
Zelda.
Yeah, Zelda.
Interesting. One crazy connection. The Nazi book is the same color as the temple. That's definitely relevant to something.
It's also the same color as the book that the director cut comes in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So there you go.
Well, maybe that means something.
Maybe. Yeah. And then finally, what we've been waiting for, we get her girl boss moment.
Oh,
the film ends with her smiling as the temple.
As all good films do, it ends with a smile.
No, I actually really like the last shot a lot.
Me too.
Yeah,
and it's a great kind of like her face acting comes back.
Yeah,
because it's like maybe that's not what like everyone takes away from it, but those were like, this is stupid to say, but those were like the action set piece moments for me where I was like, holy shit, her face acting. So the fact that we get like a crazy good one in the beginning and at the end, like it's a nice bookend, and you know. Yeah. The actor is the best special effect you can buy.
So what do you think about that final shot, that smile at the end?
Well, of course, that cements Evan, the the theme of the movie.
Yeah.
Which is, belonging, as we said, and purpose.
Yeah.
And all I knew about this movie was something with a bear. And it's a breakup movie where she, like, her new family is a cult.
Where she's a girl boss at the end.
Where she's a girl boss at the end.
Yeah.
And it was just badass. It was simply badass.
Yeah.
And I love how it turned into, like, the most depraved crying into the most sincere smile.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking badass.
I don't want to say it's like the only time she smiles in the movie, but I feel like it's the only time she has like
it's
such
the most
a genuine,
sincere smile for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As her boyfriend burns alive,
which is fucking great. And I can see that. I feel you, Ari. When I saw like what was happening, I was like, oh, they're bringing the torches, the hay, and he's sitting there. It's like, okay, and I was like, I want to burn my ex alive too.
Oh, jeez.
Ari. So I feel you.
Yeah. So there you go.
Any more thoughts, Evan, on the ending here?
Great movie.
Fantastic film.
I love that final shot. I love the music. And yeah,
Florence Pugh is a national treasure.
she is. She's great in this movie.
What a genius.
I wonder like what her life was like after this. I'm genuinely curious.
What do you mean? Oh,
For
the
Danny,
character?
Yeah.
She lived the happiest life possible. She had Pele killed.
She had Pele killed. No, her and Pele got married.
And she had a beautiful life.
Yeah. I'm assuming, she became part of them, right?
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. No, because I was like...
You can't go back to America after that.
It was like, oh, no. And that was interesting when you were... At the beginning, I was thinking about that when we were talking about, like, her friend and her therapist.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, they're never going to see her again.
No, they're not.
That's nuts. If she played the long game, she could get out.
Yeah.
But she's the only one.
No, she likes it. She's like, they're my family.
No, that's not even a thought. She's not even like, oh, can I escape? She's like, oh, you couldn't pay me to leave. She's happy. Good for her. Girl boss.
Girl boss.
Oh, yeah.
Girl boss moment.
Little did she know. Solve all her problems. Yeah. And I think the birthday, Evan, could that be a subtle inclination of some type of rebirth in this new community?
I would say so. Yeah, that's not a reach.
Very deep. Very deep.
It's a good way to, use that as a source of conflict between her and her boyfriend, and then also tie it in with the themes a bit. I like that. Yeah. Genius. The genius Ari Aster.
He doesn't miss.
He don't miss.
From what I've seen, he don't miss.
I'm excited for his next film.
I'm very excited. It's called
Disappointment Boulevard.
Hopefully
that title isn't a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, Evan.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Oh,
hopefully
not. Who is it? Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix.
He really was like Ari Aster's a big Joker guy, I guess.
I guess so.
Because he's like, this movie ends with a big smile.
Yeah.
And it's like it's the
then
girl.
Then he said, "Get Joaquin."
The female's Joker, and he said, "Who pulls off an ending smile better than him?"
Joaquin.
Get him.
That literally had a fucking smile at the end.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's why I did the Joker impression.
From the same year, 2019. Something was going on in 2019 because we had Midsommar, Parasite, Joker. All with Parasite and Joker, I think, are more similar, but they all kind of have similar themes.
Ending with a depraved smile is a pretty specific thing.
Yeah, and Parasite, it doesn't end with the smile, but he does have the smile, and he can't stop laughing. Remember?
At the end of Parasite?
Yeah.
Is he alone at the end of Parasite?
No.
Is everyone dead?
No.
Except the brother?
No, the mom is still alive, the brother is alive. The sister died. But remember, he smiles at her fucking funeral? Because after he got hit in the head, all you can do is laugh.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. It's been a minute since I've seen Parasite.
And Parasite ends with, like, the fantasy. Like, him buying the house and finding his dad. Because his dad's, like, the other guy living in the basement.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually, now that I think about it, because I saw Parasite way before I saw that one movie with the geek. I forget what it's called.
With the geek?
The circus movie?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The circus movie.
What circus movie?
The Guillermo del Toro movie.
Oh, what's it called? Fucking, Nightmare Alley.
Nightmare Alley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know you like chocolate. You remember that?
I do. That's a classic. But, like, how, like, it starts with, this guy that, like, climbs his way up, and then he becomes, like, the lowest person in society.
Yeah.
And then Parasite with him trapped in the basement.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, Nightmare Alley.
Kinda
that was a good movie.
That's a good movie.
It was a good movie.
I really liked the whole... Like, the movie itself was not perfect, but definitely it's carried by the whole cyclical kind of twist thing.
Carried by, I know you like chocolate.
I know you like chocolate. What is that from?
He says that to
I remember it, but I don't remember the context.
It's like when he's like, because him and Rooney Mara end up getting married or whatever. It's like when he's first like coming on to her. She's like, oh, well, I forgot they're being like flirtation.
Oh,
and she's like, oh, what do you know about me? He's like, I know you
like chocolate. Hell yeah, hell yes.
Say that to any woman.
Someone will start rumbling around in her little underwear.
I know you like chocolate. That was a good movie.
That is a classic.
Dylan, would you like to do some trivia? Oh God, we've been going for over 3 hours already, but fuck it, we're already here.
Yeah, I'm cooling. We haven't had a nice, chunky, long episode in a while, so.
The last one was pretty long.
What was the last one?
Mouth of Madness. It's almost 3 hours long.
Really?
Yeah.
Time flies when you're both really smart and have a lot to say.
Of course. Oh, he wasn't. Okay, so I was wrong about that. I'll mention that. What's on you, Fred? When the film was released in Sweden, rather than eliciting fear in the audience, many people laughed. Many Swedish critics praised the film as an excellent black comedy. See, don't go to Sweden.
First of all, don't go there. No. But that is something that he's mentioned.
It kind of makes sense, though, because they're probably like, oh, this is what they think of us. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, probably like really ridiculous. So I can see that.
But I think a lot of people do take his movies that way, as like black comedies.
Yeah.
And fucking, what is it called? God damn it. The Johnsons.
Yeah.
The Johnsons made me laugh hard as fuck at one point.
Yeah.
Because, can I spoil it?
Sure.
It's the opening scene.
When the sun's jerking off.
Yeah.
I saw the opening scene.
So the dad catches the son jerking off.
Yeah.
And there's this big, long, like, sentimental talk about, like, it's okay, son. Like, you don't have to be ashamed. Whatever.
Yeah. It's like some PBS shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the dad leaves the room. And then it reveals that he was jerking off to the dad. And that made me laugh out loud, genuinely. So I think there has to be an element of comedy in horror. Well, I won't say have to be, but I think it's very effective.
Yeah. I agree. Most of the Swedish dialogue spoken by the Haga natives is deliberately not subtitled in order to create the sense of isolation for the audience, and especially for the foreign visitors. There you go. The film was originally given an NC-17 cut by the MPAA. According to Ari Aster, around 30 minutes was cut from the final film mainly due to content. The director cut shortly after theatrical run restores his footage. There you go.
I feel like from when we talked about it, he didn't...
Yeah, I was like, I guess like them fucking is longer. Is that NC-17? I don't know. But despite the Swedish setting, the film was mostly shot in Hungary. There you go.
Well, that makes me hungry for some...
More trivia.
Some raw fish.
Oh.
For a herring.
Would you like that?
No.
Okay. Mark displays an extreme phobia of ticks, which is based on Ari Aster's real-life fear of bugs and illness. Like Mark, Aster wore two pairs of socks over his jeans to ensure he would not receive bug bites. So that's what was going on. I was actually wondering that. I'm like, because he wears his jeans kind of high up, and it has like his socks like pulled all the way up. So that kind of explains.
Okay. I didn't really notice.
Yeah, I noticed that every time I saw that. Yeah, I was always like...
I didn't notice who burned alive at the end, so that went over my head as well.
There is that funny line from Mark. He's like, my uncle has Lyme. He's fucked. Yeah,
that's funny.
Lyme ain't no joke.
No.
Lyme
ain't no joke. That is a debilitating brain disease. Yeah, fuck yeah. No, fuck that.
The practice of a stupa is effectively a myth. As depicted, the elderly were expected to sacrifice for the good of the village, maintaining efficiency. However, the original source of the story is a 13th century Icelandic account in Gertrúks saga, and supposed stupas in Norway and Scandinavia have all been proven to have only been referred to as such by an 18th and 19th century historians with no prior references to any such practices save that saga. Most serious historians consider the story a reflection of the Icelandic medieval tradition of depicting Swedes as barbarous,
yeah.
Yeah, I guess, on account of them converting to Christianity a century later than Iceland. So there you go, it's not real.
Huh.
There you go. That's so long. Do you want to read it? Or
yeah, you know what, I'll read it
real
quick. Alright, let me get my bearings here. Several details in the movie are depictions of actual Swedish folk customs and old beliefs. The Midsummer night was considered one of the most magical nights of the year in older Swedish culture. A night when magic and its supernatural beings could more easily affect humans. Therefore, this night is connected to many different customs and traditions, originally intended to protect yourself, your family, and your livestock from dark magic, or to make use of good magic. Picking flowers while walking backwards is a local variation on a very common midsummer tradition. You pick 7 or 9 different kinds of people and kill them.
I was listening.
That was a joke.
Wow.
So you weren't listening because you didn't laugh at my awesome joke. 7 or 9 different kinds of flowers while following specific rules. The rules can vary. Blah, blah, blah. The flowers are then placed under the pillow. Blah, blah, blah. Eating a heavily salted herring. Oh, that's a real tradition, I guess. But I doubt you have to eat it whole.
No, I would not do that.
Dancing around a decorated pole. In reality, the most widely used songs and dances are very simple in old children's music games. Cool.
The next two kind of feed into each other. Because we were mentioning this. The film, well, you mentioned it. The film was greenlit on May 18th, 2018, and premiered on June 18th, 2019, marking an unusually short production period for a wide-release theatrical film. And production for the film was announced immediately after Hereditary was released.
Yeah, I think they began talking about it right as they were finishing Hereditary, right?
This is one. I was actually wrong about this. Because I thought they were all British, all like the
college kids.
Yeah, besides Pele. But William Jackson Harper is actually American. Jack Rayner, although born in Colorado, is Irish. Florence Pugh is English, and Will Poulter is English. All other supporting actors are either Swedish, British, or Hungarian. But yeah, I thought that was interesting that they were like, so besides he actually is American, but you know the other three, they're all American, but they're not.
Yeah, I forget when it was, but when I realized Florence Pugh was British, or she's British, right?
Yeah.
Spectacular.
Yeah, spectacular.
What a beautiful actress. Because, for example, Benedict Cumberbatch. For example, the Daredevil guy, Charlie Cox.
Yeah.
Terrible American accents.
Oh, yeah. Hers is good. Good.
I wouldn't say terrible, but they're not good.
Yeah.
She's seamless.
Yeah. I agree.
Because people would always joke about that, like seeing interviews, and they're like, oh my glob, they're British? Like, what the crap?
Yeah.
But one of the only times I felt that was for her. Robert Pattinson does a good English accent, too. Or American accent.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I agree.
Huh. She should play Batgirl.
Yeah. Danny's surname is Ardor, visible on the computer screen in several shots. Latin for flame.
I wonder if that entails anything.
Oh, maybe. In the movie, they use the words May Queen and May Pole. This is misleading, as Midsommar is celebrated by the end of June. The Swedish word Maya, in this case, originally means to decorate with leaves.
Huh.
There you go. Much to the chagrin of Swedish horror fans, the film was not released during Midsommar in Sweden, but a few weeks afterwards.
Oh.
Well, they don't give a fuck about
Well, that seems like... I sure hope someone got fired for that blunder.
Me too. This is the 5th A24 film to be released nationwide without a platform release prior. The others were The Witch, Free Fire, It Comes at Night, and Hereditary.
I have seen 2 of those.
Which ones?
I've seen The Witch and Hereditary.
You should see It Comes at Night. Good movie.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, The Witch kind of sucked, in my opinion. But I also didn't finish it.
I like The Witch. But anyways. Oh, but my favorite movie of that guy, though, Robert Eggers, was definitely The Northman.
Northman was badass.
Because I was not crazy about The Lighthouse. I like The Witch more than I like The Lighthouse.
I want to check out The Lighthouse still, even though I hear mixed things. But
you should watch. Oh, I feel like The Lighthouse, for the most part, it's like universally loved. Me, I was just not that crazy about it.
I hear pretty mixed things about The Lighthouse.
Oh. Yeah. For me, I always see people say, like, it's amazing. Like, the Letterboxd score is, like, crazy high.
Oh.
I don't know.
No, I do hear... Maybe it's because I see... I don't know. I feel like a lot of normies didn't like it.
Well, I guess I'm a normie because I wasn't crazy about
normie stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Despite sharing the same title and being a horror movie set in Sweden, this film and the Danish cult classic Midsommar 2003 are not related.
Huh.
Nice. Despite the film taking place entirely in sunlight, it does not contain one shot of the sun. The film trailer contained one shot of the sun. A shot of the sun had been reinserted into the director's cut of the film. Ooh, there you go.
Fascinating. Do you want to...
Spoiler?
Well, actually, I want to read this Ariana Grande one.
I was about to say that.
That looks interesting. Ariana Grande is a fan of the film, calling it one of her favorite films of 2019. She tried and failed to buy the May Queen gown used in the film at an auction. She also threw a Midsommar-themed birthday party for herself on her 27th birthday. I don't really care what Ariana Grande's third favorite film of 2019 was, but it's interesting that she tried to buy the dress, I guess. Yeah.
I'll mention this really quick. Florence Pugh appeared in 2 different 2019 movies in which her character wears a flower crown. This and Little Women, which we also saw together. Little Women.
It's a good movie.
I did enjoy it, and she was good in that. She was nominated for an Oscar for that. But I feel like this was much more deserving of awards attention than that.
Yeah.
Not to take away, though. I'm happy that you got some praise later.
Well, that one is, what's it called? Little Women. That's a little more...
Yeah, because horror movies never get...
Yeah. That's a little more old people friendly.
Yeah.
For the Oscars to pick, so...
I did like it. She was good in that.
She is a great
Timmy was in it.
I think, Florence Pugh should play Batgirl and Timmy should play Robin.
Yeah. They're both going to be in Dune Part 2.
So, Florence Pugh's going to be in it?
Yeah.
Oh.
She playing the Emperor's daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So there you go.
Well, then maybe, they'll both, they'll talk, Warner Brothers, get any more movies for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called...
The Bat Family movie.
It's called The Bat Family.
Yeah. It's called Gotham Knights. Did you play it?
Fuck no.
Are you going
I couldn't play it if I wanted to.
It's only on PS5?
Only on PS5 and the new Xbox and PC.
Oh, shit. Would you play it? I have not heard good things about it.
If I did, I would not buy it right now. I would wait for clearance, but I can't even play it, so...
Spoiler trivia. Toward the end of the film, when Danny is lifted onto the pedestal to be carried to the dinner table, a viewer can make out her sister's face in the trees with a Zoc tube in her mouth. Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Did not notice that either. Yeah.
There's also, when after she wins the May Queen competition, she sees her mom.
Yeah, her mom just walks by real quick and she's like, Mom?
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I mentioned off the top when I was like, oh, the trips were good. So...
when Josh sneaks away to photograph pictures of the Ruby Ridar, whatever,
the Holy Book,
he thinks that he sees Mark standing in the doorway of the temple. It is in fact Ulf, the man who screamed at Mark for urinating on the ancestral tree, wearing Mark's skin. Okay, so I've right, it was in.
This is confirmed by the screenplay?
Yeah. Earlier, Mark asked Josh if he thought that Ulif was going to kill him for urinating on the tree. Though it happens off screen in the theatrical release, this is exactly what happens and is shown in graphic detail in the director's cut. That's not true. You do not see Mark be murdered.
Typical IMDb editors.
Yeah,
I think they were wrong about something else up there too.
Yeah, because that definitely does not happen. You don't see him get killed. Yeah. It's the same. He sneaks off with the girl, and then later you see...
Maybe there's a double director's cut that you don't know about.
Maybe, but as far as I know, that definitely is not in.
That's a weird thing to write.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that thing about the sister in the trees was bullshit too.
No, I think that is real, because I think I've seen the picture of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Connie's corpse being wheeled in a barrow into the shrine with all of the others appeared to be wet and bloated. This insinuates that the villagers drowned her in a nearby lake after they had supposedly brought Simon to the station but killed him in reality. Just as Danny is taking the meat carts out of the oven, both she and Mark hear faint screams. That's what I was mentioning to you. Implying that the villagers grabbed her at that point and drowned her. This is further confirmed in the director's cut, where a boy is almost sacrificed, I was mentioning this to you as well, by drowning by the villagers while wearing a sacrificial robe, the same robe that Connie's corpse is wearing.
Oh, Ari Aster mentioned that, actually, in his little interview.
She was drowned?
His panel thing that he did for Midsommar. Yeah, he said that he was sad that he cut out the boy in the robe, because... then you could have made that connection with Connie.
Yeah.
And I still didn't
make that connection until I read that just now.
That's interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Well, all the robes kind of look the same anyway.
Yeah.
So, but.
Early in the film, Simon sees a group of kids and asks Pele what they're... Oh, we mentioned this. Skin the Fool. It's...
Well, I want to see... Does it mention, like, what the kids were actually doing? Oh, yeah. This is kind of what I was saying. The kids' game may have been derived from the actual practice of skinning the fool. So they were playing, like, a baby version of, like, killing a dumb person.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Throughout the film, we kind of mentioned this in our analysis, but throughout the film, Danny hallucinates a plant life interacting with her and growing into her. They foreshadows her eventual decision to join the community at the end of the film. At the end, she's wearing a thing of all flowers, signaling, yeah. I feel like we don't really have to read that. We pretty much have explained that.
Well, I guess we didn't mention, like, her outfit at the end is fully made of flowers.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you know, it took her over.
You get it.
But
you get it. You guys are smart.
Watch
you
the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've seen the movie, you probably picked up on that.
After the sex scene, Christian was supposed to run away in the robe that he had entered in. Jack Rayner himself had suggested that Christian run out completely nude to appear more vulnerable. Thus, he appears fully nude when trying to escape. Rayner was inspired by having recently watched The Last House on the Left. Like many films in the horror genre, female characters are disrobed, humiliated and or assaulted before their demise. He felt it was due time that male characters be made to suffer similar indignity.
Yeah, he did that for pussy. Yeah. He's like one of those nice guys that's like, you know what, you really, like, I want to be equal to you. Like,
he just wanted to have a dick out, actually. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Simon's fate is based on the alleged Viking ritual execution method called Blood Eagle, in which victims were placed in a prone position, their ribs severed from the spine, with a sharp tool and their lungs pulled through the opening to create a pair of wings. The victim would supposedly be alive and conscious through the process and not die until some time after, likely from blood loss. As such, when Christian finds him, Simon is still alive, though barely if at all conscious. As he imparts the sacrifice, he does die sometime between Christian finding him and the final ritual. Yeah, we get that. According to Ari Aster, Pele with the villager who bludgeoned Josh... Jesus Christ, I didn't know that.
That's badass.
Who bludgeoned Josh to death with the hammer after he was caught taking pictures of the book. And in fact, right as the camera does a quick pan from the image of Josh in the mirror to Mark, you can actually see him hiding out of Josh's view. I did see that, but I didn't know it was Pele who kills him. That's fucked up, Pele. What the hell? Your bro? That's how you do your bro?
I mean, he did bring all of them there to die.
You're right, but you really gonna do your bro like that? Like, you could have... If it were me, I would be like, alright, y'all take care of him, but I don't want to be there.
That is super fucked.
You did him like that? That's fucked up. In Danny's apartment, there's a painting of a bear and a woman wearing a crown hanging over a bed. This is the painting Stackar's Base by Swedish painter John Bauer, famous for his art on Swedish folklore and mythological creatures.
I would be curious what the bear represents in Swedish culture.
It's a bear.
It's a bear.
Get it? Oh, I guess I didn't really think about that. Despite being the main characters, and with the exception of cries and screams, neither Danny nor Christian speak in the last 25 minutes.
25 minutes?
Yeah, I guess I did. Because I know, obviously, at the end section, she doesn't speak at all, but yeah. I guess after she says what's going on there, she doesn't have a single line of dialogue.
Wait, what did she say?
Well, she's like, oh, what's going on there? To ask about the what was happening, and she goes in to see some fucking...
Oh,
that was her last line of dialogue in the movie.
Yeah. That one's interesting. I didn't know that. For Danny's birthday, Pele gives her a drawing. He has done it for her with 2 runes near the bottom, and those runes are on her dress that she wears later.
Yeah.
She's the chosen one.
Oh, about the number 9. Midsommar feast turns around the number 9. The complete ritual lasts for 9 days, in which 9 lives are sacrificed to appear. Oh, yeah. Well... Oh, I thought I was going to try and connect it to some real shit. In addition, Pele explained to Danny and the rest of the newcomers that the cycle of life conceived by Harga's people marks at 18 years of the end of childhood, 9 times 2, and of youth at 36, 9 times 4, and of maturity at 54, 9 times 6, and of the age of the end of life at 72, 9 times 8. Yeah.
And the feast is every 90 years.
implying that each one of the sacrifice equals 10 years of purity for Harga's people. Even the feast name Midsommar has 9 letters. Also at the beginning of the movie, when Danny leaves a message for her parents, the answering machine number counts up to 9 before it leaves the frame. The importance of 9 derives from the old myth of Odin, father of all Norse gods, who is hung upside down for 9 days in Yggdrasil, Tree of World.
That was a good effort on your part.
In order to bring knowledge to the world, creating Futark, runes language. There you go. I guess it's kind of interesting. At the end of the film, the final shot of Danny smiling dementedly. She was smiling dementedly.
Is that what I said?
Did
I say that?
No. We mentioned we said her sister went demented, or you said that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay.
At the site of the burning temple with the sacrifice inside, her expression is almost an exact replica of the sun at the mirror on the mural at the beginning. Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
Like, not really.
Sure.
Because I remember distinctly looking at that sun.
Yes.
Because I was like, that's a very Western-looking sun, right? Because they mean
it looked more evil.
They mean the sun on the roof, right?
No, and the drawing at the beginning of the movie.
The drawing.
That shows everything that happens in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I thought because there was a sun painted on the thing, and I was like, that almost looks like a fucking Simpsons face.
No, it was.
But you went there. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe it's the same though. I don't know.
But this one says they don't kiss on screen.
Wait, which one? Oh, Danny and Christian show very little affection towards each other due to their distant feelings. Through the whole runtime of the theatrical release, they don't even kiss each other. The director cut, however, contains a scene in which they kiss.
Do they?
Yeah.
When?
They did.
After the birthday thing?
I'm trying to remember. I feel like it was after they made up from that argument the next day.
Yeah, after the birthday thing. That's what I was thinking.
No, from the ritual that was missing from the movie.
Oh,
after
right.
That. I think it's after that.
Interesting.
Yeah, we mentioned that. During the sacrifice at the end of the film, Ingmar and Ulf are given dew from the yew tree. As they are fed this dew, Ulf is told feel no pain, and Ingmar told feel no fear. As the building burns and the fire inches closer to them, Ingmar looks at Ulf with fear, and Ulf gazes back before the fire engulfs him, and he starts to wail in pain. See, that's what I was saying. Like, was he? Because he was told feel no pain. So was he screaming in fear? I don't know. But this is saying, oh, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of open for interpretation. I wouldn't consider that a fact.
I think that is open for interpretation, especially because I don't think one of them screams. This kind of says they both scream, but they don't.
Oh no! It says that he looks at him in fear. Only one of them screams. The one who was told feel no pain.
Oh, it's saying Ingmar looks at Ulf with fear,
even though he was told feel no fear,
and Ulf gazes back, and he starts wailing pain. So it's saying that like the one who's told like he won't feel fear feels fear, and the one who says he won't feel pain feels pain.
Maybe.
So this is kind of,
I don't know for sure if that's a fact.
When I thought it was Pele, kind of my previous thoughts on the scene. It kind of says what I was saying, that everything they've been told is a lie, but are unable to do anything about it. That's kind of like partially how I interpreted it. Yeah, when I thought it was Pele. I guess you could still maybe interpret it that way now, but there's also the element of like what you were saying, where it's like feel no fear, feel no pain, and they kind of react accordingly. Yeah, maybe.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not
maybe
sure.
There's kind of like a.
You could scream in fear.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you're being burned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like a mind over matter thing. Because if you feel no pain, you know.
Yeah.
But if you feel fear, even if you don't feel any pain, you're gonna scream. I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I consider that a fact.
Yeah.
It's open for interpretation.
Getting a little loosey goosey with these fucking facts, IMDb.
Yeah.
Huh?
Director trademark. Both of RNS's feature-length films so far have included gruesome shots of bashed-in faces, cults, old people in the nude, explorations of grief and relationships, intense depictions of sorrow, and shots where the camera films straight down.
Interessante.
There you go.
And also another director's trademark. They were both good as hell.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we mentioned these.
Oh, yeah, the lottery. You ever read that?
No.
Actually does remind me of that. I remember I read that in middle school. There's a short story where it's kind of like this, where it's like a perfect little society, and then you realize that they keep it that way by doing the lottery.
Yeah.
Where they do the same thing here, where it's like a, like that lottery bowl on TV, like they do in Midsommar, and they pick a random person to die.
Mm.
It is kind of like that short story.
Yeah. It's also kind of like Hunger Games, right?
It's pretty badass.
How they pick their tributes.
Yeah. Which is, of course,
there you go.
a great movie.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And book.
This feels like a huge reach to me. The woman who jumped during the at a stupa, while played by a different, older actor than Danny, bears a striking resemblance to Danny. A fan theory presumes that she killed herself to make room for Danny to join the Harga community and that Danny will take her name. No, that's bullshit.
That's huge cat.
Yeah.
Because isn't that like, that's the old people?
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's stupid. When all the main characters are talking in the apartment about the Sweden trip, beside Christian on the fridge is a framed picture of Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz. Scarecrow was afraid of fire as he was made of straw and would burn quickly. This either foreshadowed Christian's fate of burning alive surrounded by straw and bodies arranged like scarecrows, or Mark and Josh's fate of being skinned and turned into a straw doll.
I guess it would foreshadow kind of all their,
Yeah, yeah.
And he say lions, tigers, and bears, oh my.
Oh my.
And he dies inside of a bear.
Yeah, yeah. It does have a kind of a Wizard of Oz-esque quality, the movie.
I think, it kind of does, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a girl and 3 guys.
Yeah, yeah.
They go to a magical land.
Yeah.
And the girl finds her place in the world.
Exactly.
Any good ones on the last few? The Wicker Man.
When Christian is being prepared to the sacrifice, the villagers put him in a bear suit similar to Nicolas Cage in 2006's The Wicker Man. Another movie about a pagan cult involved with human sacrifices. Oddly enough, Cage's movie is a remake of The Wicker Man 1973. That it's considered the basis for all latter movies about pagan cults with human sacrifices, including Midsommar.
Kinda.
Well, there you go.
It's kind of interesting.
So yeah, that's Midsommar.
So there's a lot of cool facts as well.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed those facts. I would give this, Evan, what would you give this movie?
I would give it a solid 8 out of 10.
I would give it a 3 out of 3 stars.
Nice.
If you don't mind me saying.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Which is crazy. I always feel like I would give it an 8 each time I watch it, but like I still like really love this movie. Like it's weird though, but I can never go higher than 8 when I watch it. But still, it's like,
why do you think that is, Evan?
I don't know. Good question. I'm like, when I watch it, I'm like, yeah, this is an 8. But it's like I still feel like, very fond of this film. I like it quite a lot. Like I think Parasite is a better movie, but it's like I feel like more drawn to Midsommar. So I don't know. I always thought that was interesting because it's not like, for me, it's not like a 10 out of 10 movie, but I don't know. I really like it a lot. So.
Yeah, I think there's I take some issue with certain parts of it.
Yeah. But
ultimately, like the actual meat of the movie is great.
Yeah.
And all the fundamentals are there as well.
Yeah.
Like it looks great. It's great actors. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
No, of course
not. I will probably never watch it again.
Damn.
Just because if it's a movies,
would you watch the director cut?
Maybe I would watch the director's cut, but other than that, I don't think I would watch it again.
Damn.
Just because I don't know, movies like this, or like I don't know, I'm trying to think of another movie. I don't know, like horror movies and like fucked up movies
are awesome.
Are epic, and I watch them every day.
Of course.
It prepares me to make my first move.
Oh.
No, but I can't really stomach this kind of thing too often.
Oh.
And I don't really rewatch movies too much anyway.
Yeah.
So if I do rewatch one, it's gonna be something like
you really like
Back to the Future or Iron Man, where it's like light,
Yeah.
But it's a great movie nonetheless.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You won't be like Evan, who's seen it 4 times.
Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
Understandable.
If Ari's down in ATL, and he's like, "Hey, come on down, come see Midsommar."
Yeah,
screening. I'll go to that.
Well, if you listen to our podcast and he's like, "I'm in Atlanta, come watch it with me."
Yeah, you want to do a little interview? I'd be like, if I had the free time,
That
I can make some time in my schedule.
would be pretty epic.
That would be badass.
That would be pretty epic.
Man, come through, Ari.
Come through. Well, yeah, so this episode's almost 4 hours long, so this is probably going to end up being our second longest episode, I think.
Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
This is the only one. This is the only one below Spider-Man 2? That's crazy.
Yeah, I think, because, Spider-Man 1's 3 hours or something, but I think this is longer.
I don't even know. I feel like we didn't, I guess we talked for a while about, some other stuff at the beginning, but I feel like we didn't, overdo it. I guess we did, though.
It is a long movie. It is a long movie.
It is. And we were talking about some of the differences, the director's cut, and some fun facts as well. But yeah, thank you for listening. This was a great fun episode.
It was.
I really enjoyed watching Midsommar, and I'm glad I can finally check it off my watch list on Letterboxd.
Check it off the list, bro.
Check it off the list, bro.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening, and we'll be back with more RNS content.
We'll be back, and I have a great pick for next week.
What is it?
I think it's I don't want to spoil it, so we're gonna see next week, and I can't wait to see you then. It's gonna be a good one.
Okay.
And if you enjoyed this, please leave a like, and stick around for that next episode because it's gonna be a doozy. And we'll see you again next week. And thank you again.
Thank you. Goodbye.